Hello, everybody. We are back. We're back. For those of you that were at the show this morning, much appreciated. And that came back, very much appreciated. Oh, I see Kat is sending super chats. Thank you, Kat. Let's see who else is in here. Good afternoon, Jordan. Hello, Uli, Aggie, Lisa, Morgan. Let's see, Nini Nut, what's up? Jules, how are you doing? Just me. There's our friend Amanda. Chris Melcher, hello. Kayla, hello. Let's wait for everybody to get their notifications and come in. Katie Bird, what's up? Magoo. Hope everyone's having a great afternoon and ready for some great discussion with JPL. She has been over the weekend in Truckee. Hello, Connie. Fun to ski. Misty, Shalma, Bob, Morgan again. Bridget, hello. Rexana, yep, we're back. We're back. So, it's something new every day with Kiely's case. It's a surprise every day. I'll say that. Just in the press conferences, what they say. We're going to talk about the press conference and go through it again from Saturday. A couple of things that Angela specifically said really got my attention. But it is, oh my God, every day. And yeah, check the title, because I mean it. We need some undercover 21 jumpers here. These kids have really done a number. So there was no press conference yesterday, and I haven't heard anything about a press conference today. Have you guys? Because I haven't heard it. But the sheriff's department did release yet another hoodie that Kiely was seen wearing during the party. So hold on. I'm sure all of you know by now, but I'm going to put it up anyway. If anyone believes they have photos or videos that may assist with our investigation in locating Kiely, then it tells you where to submit it. So, I'll tell you what, we have to refocus, for sure. We know Sammy is full of shit, all right? This isn't a forgetful teen that might have gotten a little too tipsy. Whatever the reasons for it, she inserted herself extremely deep into Kiely's case. She obviously has parental guidance lacking in her life, even though she lives with a private investigator as a parent. And at this point was not telling what she knows, or maybe she really doesn't know. But 2 different hoodies, possibly had on an Apple Watch in one night. No, come on. Come on. Her parents would certainly know what Kiely had on, what she changed into. She made sure to tell us it was a bodysuit. At this point, that's a big question mark, if you know what I mean. I mean, it's too early to tell, but for some reason, she inserted herself. Is it just, she mentioned she didn't plan to get famous from this? She's not famous. I don't mean to burst a bubble, but she's not famous. Was it for attention, or is there a different reason? I mean, like I said, it's too early to tell. I'm not even ready to speculate about that yet. I'm not even ready to speculate about that. So let's see what our friend JPL is doing. We're not going to get into her weekend yet. We are going to go through some comments that need to be discussed from the last show, and then I will get to your comments. Hold on. Good afternoon, JPL.
Good afternoon.
You had quite a weekend.
It was really nice. It was nice to get out of the heat.
Yes.
But then there was heat there, which is very unusual. I think the whole earth is on fire. Because it was hot there too. So,
is it a dry heat, or is it very humid?
There is no humidity unless there are clouds, and it is bright blue. So yeah, humidity is not our problem. We are dry. which,
I will trade you because we have humidity and heat. So
yeah, I
with
don't like
104 here today, we call it air you can wear. Like you can cut it with a knife. It's thick.
Yeah. Yeah, not here, but I'm telling you, it's 104 here today and not quite yet. It gets to be 104 like at 4 o'clock, which is weird.
We've been out west several times, and it's kind of like once you cross, well, out of Texas, really. I mean, the way we were going, you suddenly are in, like it's dry. New Mexico, Arizona. We were in Utah, beautiful state. We were actually in Moab, believe it or not. And I saw the temperature, I think, on my phone. It was like 107. You couldn't have fooled me. Because 107 here, shit, gotta whip your ass. Time, I got to visit with several people. So before we get to that, let's do some comments from the last show, shall we?
Awesome, let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, let me put my glasses on. I never remember that, and I never remember to clean them off first. D-Board said, hi, I've been following your channel. Some of the teens mentioned Kiely was acting out of character at the party. Well, most likely on mushrooms at the party. Now, you mentioned there's only one place to buy them, right?
Oh, no. I mean, there's a legal place to buy them, but there's also, there are people there that probably had them. You don't need much. And so I'm sure that there were people there that had them. And this lady I talked to, this daughter was at the party, said,
hold on. We're going to get to that.
Okay, because this is really important to that.
Oh, well, then do it.
She said her daughter.
I thought you were going to tell a different story. Sorry.
No, this lady said her daughter was at the party and that this was her first party.
Oh.
Yeah. And she was homeschooled. She didn't do sports. So, I mean, I know Truckee's a small community, but I think all these mothers, I think it's because of the mothers and parents. They know each other and their kids know each other through them. That's just my opinion.
Well, it's a small community. Of course, they have social media. Now, okay, so you met this woman. Her daughter was at the party. We'll get further into that in a minute. Now, are you saying, because my mind is all twisted up right now with this case.
I know.
Are you saying that it was Kiely's first party or her daughter's? Kiely's.
That's what her daughter said. And I mean, I don't see this lady. She and her daughter are very close. And her daughter told her all about the party. She did say that there were up to 200, 250 there. She says, that's what she told me. Wow. So there were a lot of people there. And she did say that about, Kiely was homeschooled and didn't do sports. So she didn't, her group wasn't that big.
She is very big into music. And it's not the first time I'm hearing she wasn't the partier and that she has a very tight circle of friends. And of course, it didn't take long to come out that she didn't really know Sammy she doesn't know Sammy very well.
Right. But Sammy knows this new new boyfriend that she happened to be with. Just very, I don't like it.
No, I don't like it either. All right.
Okay, so comments. Weren't you doing comments?
Oh, yes. Sorry. I get off track. D-Board said, the thing is, you don't leave a party like that without saying your final goodbyes to your friends. This is true. This is true.
Yeah.
Even at that age, people are going to be seen coming in and they're going to tell somebody goodbye, correct?
Yes.
I mean, even if they got pissed about something and stormed out, someone is still going to notice. Especially you talk to this woman whose daughter confirmed we don't know where the party was exactly, I don't think. It could have spilled over into something. I don't know. Also,
Right.
she did come by herself. That's what we have been told. I've never heard law enforcement say it, though. That's where we have to refocus.
Right.
What has law enforcement confirmed, and what has Sammy been feeding us that we're trying to make sense out of? We can't make sense out of Sammy's events or even cream brulees, that chick, because it doesn't fit. It doesn't make sense. But this is such a good point. When you're leaving a party, you're going to say bye, right?
Right. She said that she got a call that she talked to Sammy, or Sammy talked to Kiely, and they said that that's when she said that she was on her way home and she was driving. I mean, I was the passenger driving, basically. And then she said she got a text from her right after, a few minutes after, like she had forgotten. Somebody said, "Oh, maybe she just forgot that Sammy left," and it's just so very convoluted. I don't understand how this girl is saying all this unless because the FBI and the police, I think they have enough resources to figure out her bullshit.
Oh, I think they are figuring it out. I mean, I'm sure. I mean, they're investigators. I think they've had to have had some kind of suspicion all along. But look at the massive search that's going on. When you told me about the different agencies that are parked in Truckee, California, these aren't Eagle Scouts out looking for her. Not that there's anything wrong with an Eagle Scout, but when you told me the different agencies, one really blew my mind. We'll get to that in a minute. Angie Crawford said, I could be wrong, but Sammy is going way out of her way to be beyond helpful, which makes her look like she's guilty of something. What is she guilty of? We're not accusing her of anything that has to do with the disappearance of Kiely. But why did she jump head first in the deep end just to turn around and get called out? She's getting called out all over the internet. The boyfriend Jagger, when I saw him talking on an interview, that guy looked so guilty and evasive. He could not hold his head up to look at the interviewer. We noticed that too. He kept dropping his head, looking down at the ground, which does not look good on his part. She said, I could be wrong, but they both look suspicious. We've been trying to treat this with no pun intended, kid gloves, because they are, even though they're young adults. But the more that we see this has been spun out of control, nobody, I know Jagger wasn't there. Sammy didn't notice the black hoodie. I kind of gave her a little bit of credence there. The white hoodie, she knows it's a bodysuit, but doesn't know she had two different hoodies on.
They were in the car. I think that's something that has to do with the other people in the car. I don't know. I don't know why I thought that, but she did say there were two other people in the car. Perhaps they're the ones that said, that had the hoodie in the car, and maybe she grabbed one and was wearing it, and then, went back to the car and forgot and grabbed the other one. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't get it. So she obviously, I don't know if the white hoodie belongs to her or someone else. Law enforcement didn't tell us this, but they are very specific when they talk about certain things. They give you just enough information. This is what we're looking for. So again, Sammy's the spokesman, right? She mentions the bodysuit because they went to pee together.
Mm-hmm.
Kiely has on, I don't know what came first in the night, the white hoodie or the black. So It's not like it all of a sudden heated up there and she takes off the hoodie and then says, "Oh, I'm cold now, I need another one." Whose hoodies are these? Are they hers? She wouldn't have brought two separate hoodies with her unless they were just in her car. I don't know.
The temperature doesn't drop until after, I would say, 12 to 1. And even though she had a tank, a cami on, a bodysuit with snaps, that it's, I find that weird. I don't know if you're going to a party, but they're all very lax in the way they dress there. I mean, even on a day that's normal day, these kids don't dress up. They don't look like they're, shining. So they're all brought up in a little town. And I just think that their parents know each other, and that's how their kids know each other. Because she's homeschooled.
Right.
Does sports. I don't know.
I mean, I know
to go to parties,
I mean, I haven't, I've noticed, their apparel. I don't know what the kids are wearing these days. Does seem pretty lax. I don't expect them to be out there in a school uniform, if you know what I mean. Not saying they have one. I did notice that the Find Kiely t-shirts looked like they just took a white t-shirt from somewhere and just took a Sharpie and wrote Find Kiely. So yeah, I can see that. I just want to know, I mean, if your parent is a private investigator, how under God's blue sky did you not know? And remember, you're the front man. You're the one telling us what's going on. Your own words. You know everything that was happening. But you failed to mention she had on a white hoodie. She had on a black hoodie. You're confused about the Apple Watch, which it's in every one of her pictures. Yet you know exactly about her phone. She knows about the sticker on the back of it. These other things she didn't mention. Did she just not know? What's going on with that? She's not a good friend. She's not close with her, but she knows about her phone. How does Sammy have such particulars about Kylie's phone, unless she just happened to notice it, but she didn't notice the two different hoodies? She noticed the bodysuit because they peed together. She has such particulars about her phone, but everything else is kind of up for kind of fill in the blank. I mean, this is what Sammy said over a week ago. I had the last call to her. I was the last person pretty much who knows what was happening. Somebody help me. She even said she drank from everything she drank from.
Right. That's sus too. I was thinking about that conference, and when she was up there and she had the police behind her, whole panel of police behind her, and she was talking about, and how she was talking to the audience and her mother sitting right there. And I think that she has been rehearsing with her mother certain things to say and not say. And the police know what she's doing. The only thing they need to do is get a warrant for her phone. And I think that's where it's getting, they have to get Sammy's phone and dig into it. Otherwise, they don't have that proof. And they can't just go in it without a warrant.
I wonder if they're not going to start putting together some warrants for some phones and go to the old judge and say, we need some help here, and these kids are not forthcoming. So we need some phone records ASAP. Does anyone think that's going to happen? They've been begging.
Yeah.
Daily. We need somebody knows something. We need somebody to come forward. We have parents telling their kids, adults telling the kids not to talk. We've got Sammy telling us stuff that doesn't make any damn sense. And for what reason? I don't know. Sammy's not even friends with Kiely on social media. In what universe does that make sense? Especially for kids.
Yeah. That was very weird. Unless they unless they can identify that they're friends on Snapchat or whatever like that, and they don't use Facebook. I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of.
They do. I mean, they have different apps they use.
Yeah.
Instagram, no. And Instagram seems to be the biggie for the kids. That's right. Vicious says, I think so. And Ellie looks so tired. I think they are going to say enough is enough. Hand it over. Now, JPL said they're just letting these kids talk so they hang themselves.
I really think so. I really do.
That's got to be.
They have to rely on. They have to rely on that. They have to rely on some sappy little girl that can act her way out of a paper bag to give them some kind of direction with her teen team meetings that are so anonymous, and only 7 to 8 people in this group are the ones there with all these teens. And they're waiting. They're waiting for somebody to just, But like I said, the mother of Sammy, they're a lawyer. She's a lawyer.
So mom's a lawyer and dad's a PI, because I keep hearing back and forth. We know there's an attorney in the house, a private investigator. Yeah.
I don't know which is which, actually. But the way her mom kept, would put her arm around, especially when I asked my question about the parking, her mom put her arm around her and was whispering to her. And this girl just was like, I've never seen the body language of this kid be so guilt and, oh my God, I don't know what to do. And her knees went right up into her chin, and she was in this chair, and she's got law enforcement right in front of her watching her.
Yeah, and when you saw that, and you saw, okay, you asked about the parking. I know we keep bringing the parking up. Get used to it. This parking situation is not going anywhere, because we have never heard from law enforcement that they can verify that the car was at the party. We have verification that Kiely was at the party. I'm not trying to open up a conspiracy theory or a new can of worms. I'm going off of what they have said. They're only saying that they know that Kiely was there, but they're still asking for help about the car. Who saw the car? They're not getting any answers. So I go back to when JPL was there last Wednesday. She asked a simple question about the parking. Sammy becomes upset. Her mother starts comforting her. Who would need to be comforted over someone asking, where'd you park the car?
And then she takes a picture, or she takes I don't know if it was, I don't know what news crew it was, to show where the car was parked. Yeah, but we don't know where the other cars were parked in the vicinity. And that's the problem. Unless they're keeping that, there were cars around us, or, we were a little bit away from most of the cars. Right. But they seem pretty close to where that party was supposedly, which I still am confused on why Sammy said campground 4 because it was full of families that had reserved areas on each little thing. It says reserved, reserved, reserved. That's not where they were. It was on the other side. Campground 4. Was that like just a meeting point?
That could be it. Before we get to that, here's another theory. See what you guys think about that, about this. I Got a Jar of Dirt said, what if the party was an organized fight? Because this whole, it's an annual party. They have it every year. I'm just like, oh, shut up. I can organize one better than that and have it ready with food, cups, and everything in 2 hours. That's nuts.
Yeah.
Okay, so what if the party was actually an organized fight? If a girl missing jewelry, either she removed it or is ripped off of her. They were asking about the fight, and then they bring up the jewelry. We need more information about this fight, and then we're looking for some jewelry.
Yeah.
What these kids don't understand, it seems, is they can't outsmart law enforcement. And us crime randos have seen these kind of cases before. Yeah. It's always someone close to them involved. Can we agree on that?
Yes. And you're right. Every campground I've ever, just me said, every campground I've ever been to is quiet time 10 to 6. And that is what the little ranger guy that goes around in his little golf cart around the campground, he goes to everybody's camp to check it out and make sure everyone's okay. And he says, it is so quiet after 10. The only place that it isn't is on the other side. A lot of the teenagers have their parties there and stuff. And he told FBI all of this, and he gave numbers and names of every camper in Campground 4.
Okay, let's rewind this because this is JPL in Truckee, California, talking to a ranger, correct?
If either he's a ranger or he is a civil servant, I don't know. He didn't have a ranger outfit on, and he had his little dog with him. So I don't exactly know, but he does work for the park, the Tahoe National, I don't know what his exact function title is, but yeah, he goes around but he said that he wasn't there Friday night, and that when he came back early that morning, the guy goes, somebody had said, did you hear about the party? And he's like, what party? People aren't going to have parties here around here that loud. So yeah, he was very he said he told and gave everything to the FBI, but he says on the other side, which is where it's interesting, because I was driving in and I saw these trees wrapped with, every now and then you'd see a tree and it's wrapped with blue and then some kind of an orange thing around it, as to say this is the way to go to this party. I don't know. And then
what did you ask him to get this conversation going? What did you ask the ranger, civil servant, whoever it is that was at the campground when you went?
I said hello, love your dog, just get into that kind of conversation. And I said, so were you here the night of that big party? And he goes, I heard about the big party, but I wasn't here until early in the morning. And the other guy that was here said that there was a party. But, it was like, kids always have parties over there. So he didn't have, I wish I talked to him. But this guy I said, so is this campground 4? Is this the only campground 4? And he goes, yes. And I gave everything to the FBI, all the campers' names and phone numbers and what they saw and heard. And so I asked him about parties, and he says it is so quiet here after 10, and so it's not likely that you would have something so big that somebody wouldn't go over there. And there were no bonfires. These kids are not stupid. They live in Truckee, and they know we are in a severe drought. Our trees are like sticks, and yeah, they're not going to start fires unless somebody from out of town brings fireworks and tries to do something stupid like that. And there were none that night.
He says quiet times at 10 p.m.
Yep.
Yet this party continued until we know past midnight. Where did all these cars go at like what 12:30? Where were they going? Were they moving the party to somewhere else around there?
See, that's the thing. That's how raves are. They will have somebody at one pinpoint, like go to this tree in the park and it's wrapped in this, or there'll be a glow stick there. So they call this person and get basically the map. Then they come and they give the person the money and they get the map. And there are different areas if the cops are onto them. It's to elude police. But they said, yeah, I mean, I don't, this timeline of where these kids were exactly after she went radio silent on her phone. What was everybody else doing? And what time did it stop? Where did everybody go? What time did they all leave?
Well, Fun to Ski said heard at 4:30 a.m. and the parents cleaned up. The parents cleaned up for them. Because we did see the picture with the trash on the ground, the overwhelming party. I was underwhelmed, which the picture, a lot of people have the opinion, I'll put it up real quick, that it looks a little premeditated for some reason. You know, this is a random picture to take, and that's the only one that you provide to Channel 13. That's what you've got to prove we have a party of 250, but you talked to a mother whose daughter was there and said, yeah, that party was that big. But the party could have moved from different areas.
Yeah, and I totally believe that remember, I've always said this, that I think that because I think about myself and I'm thinking, you know what, I would go and pop in on this big party. Mm-hmm. And I think other parents have done that, and they did go clean up, and they did, yeah, I really think that.
Do you think, again, we're just talking here, we don't know.
Yeah, these are just my opinions, and we're just theorizing.
Oh yeah, girl, you're good. That's all we're doing here. So Fun to Ski said she heard that the parents were there, they cleaned up the trash and everything. So let's say they were being responsible and drove by to check on the kids. Obviously, it's irresponsible to let them to continue in dangerous behavior. You know, that goes without saying. Do you think that everything's so closed mouth because parents are afraid they're going to get in trouble for letting this go on? Is campground 4 the meeting place and then they went somewhere else for this wild party?
That's what I think, because there is a road that kind of went off the beaten path and I didn't take it. Even though I have a car with all-wheel drive, mm-hmm. I was like kind of scared. I go, God, I don't want to go down there. And all of a sudden I'm at the lake and I can't turn around or something. But there was a road that went down to across from campground 4. A little ways down. And there are and there are places to park. There are these roads have these indentations in them with wood and a steel, whatever they have it between them, to make like a little guardrail between the road and the campground. But there was a road that went off across the street from Campground 4, and I think that might have been where the party was. I should have just gone down there, but I didn't.
That's okay. We have next weekend.
I know. I if they haven't found her, I'm totally doing it.
Well, and Mags was just brought up, and interesting enough, a little off topic, but not really. I might be skipping around too much. In different comments on Facebook, that dinosaur that these kids certainly don't want to use. It was asked about the relationship between Sammy and Kiely. Mag's sister, she says, Mag is my sister. You know, if you want to poke around, you can see, unless somebody made a very, very convincing profile, she's telling the truth. Mm-hmm. She's asked by a woman, do you know anything about the friendship between Kiely and Sammy? So this fits with what you were saying earlier when you talked to that woman whose daughter knows Kiely, was also at the party, that this was really the first party she's ever been to. Now, what are the odds that she goes to just one party and that she disappears from said party? You kind of...
Well, I think of the Jagger. I think of him.
You think of Jagger. Jagger wasn't there.
We don't know. We don't know that. We don't know if he came later. Remember, he was in Reno. He was in Reno on Saturday to go look for her, but we don't know that he wasn't in Reno or Truckee before. We really don't.
All we know for certain is what law enforcement has told us. That's why I said we got to refocus, because we're letting the inmates run the asylum right now with these kids. There are so many discussions all over YouTube. Well, Sammy said, well, Jagger said, and then they had creme brulee. And now, now JPL and I are calling that girl creme brulee. We're like, God, okay, so creme brulee. So anyway, this girl said,
wait, I have a thought. How old is Jagger? If Sammy is 18, how old is Jagger?
Jagger's 18.
He is 18. Okay. And Sammy is 18, but Kiely's 16.
Right.
Okay.
Jagger said he was 4 hours away and didn't go to the party. It was also reported that Jagger was in Reno, but then we see via social media, and we can believe everything we see there, right? Tongue in cheek, I'm being sarcastic, that he, as soon as he heard they couldn't find Kiely, as soon as he heard, he drove from Napa. Big difference. So I do find this to be interesting, because all of it, you speak to the mother of this girl, we're not naming any names, who was at the party. She said Kiely'd never been to a party before. Then we have this on social media. It's an exchange between Mags' sister. I don't know if she's older or younger. She's her sister. She's asked by an internet stranger, to put it quite delicately, she's asked by an internet stranger, do you know anything about the friendship between Kiely and Sammy? She replies, just that they're new friends and not what I would consider close at all. Kiely has a very tight-knit group of friends. That adds up to she's never been to a party before. Now, I am curious as to where that tight circle of friends is, because they're not saying anything. And girls are possessive, when it comes to, they're friends. They're good friends. I'm very shocked that her actual good friends haven't come out and been like, we've never even heard of Sammy. We talk to Kiely all the time.
Interesting. Yeah, they have to know what that Jagger kid was doing that day and the day before.
Yep. Well,
It's crazy that Sammy is inserting herself so much in that, and that they're not like, they're like acquaintances, it seems like. But yet she's like, we said I love you, and I'll see you later. Yet she left her at the party at 11:30. Correct? When did Sammy leave the party before?
I believe 11:30. Hang on, I'll put a clip up real quick and we'll look at that. Pam McCutcheon, thank you for becoming a new YouTube member. Our members' lives are on Saturday, so always check the channel when you can, or make sure you hit that bell and hit remind all. The members' lives are a lot of fun. This might be related to it, might not. Okay, so we have CRV parked. These are just my titles, how I label things, with law enforcement asking about the car. They want more on the car. Okay, maybe this will help a little bit. It doesn't mention Sammy, boohoo. Around 12:15 a.m., Kiely, she texted her parents that she was heading home. However, according to her mother, no one has come forward to say that they saw her leave. No one was with her at the time, and nobody could remember when she left or seeing her car drive away. Her phone, which was last pinged at the party, has been turned off. Authorities say her vehicle, the CRV with California license plate, is also unaccounted for. And again, her mother is anyone that's attended the party. Look through your phones, social media posts, videos for any sign of Kiely. Okay, so they do have a sign of Kiely because law enforcement, they've confirmed. At Placer Sheriff, are you able to confirm that Kiely Rodni attended the party before she went missing? So we're talking about that specific party, not a party. And according to this girl whose mother JPL met, this was the first party Kiely's ever been to. So they give just a yes. Now, again, I'm not going crazy on conspiracy theories, but we just get a yes, we can confirm she was at the party. Still no pictures or anything of her. So I'm hoping they do a warrant roundup of all phones. All phones. Get the phone records. Get all of that stuff. I'm waiting for them to say, and her car was there too. We know the car was there, but they're still asking information about the car.
Yeah. I mean, and like I think I said it to you, is that the car easily could have been stolen, and she saw something and they took her with it, and she could be all the way. I'm surprised if she is taken, if she's been taken with the car. I'm surprised that there is no ransom being asked by this family.
You're the only person that I have heard who's brought that up. So if we're talking she was truly abducted, these people have money. Why is there no ransom?
Excuse me. Yeah, I'm serious. If she was truly abducted, that would be one of the things that they would be waiting for. And I did speak to somebody else that knows the family. And when I said this seems so random, he said, no, it's not. That car's gone. She's gone. She could be in Mexico. She could be in the Philippines by now. And I was like, whoa, what? Wait. But that's a very, if they did that, I'm surprised that nobody has contacted this family for a ransom for this girl, if she's still alive.
And the guy you talked to saying it's not random, You spoke to, I believe, a sheriff's deputy on Wednesday that said this never happens.
Yeah, exactly.
This never happens.
You heard him. He said this. We have hikers. We have hikers that we go search for a lot of the time.
Right.
You know, they get the beaten path, they get lost, you know, whatever. Skiers, but never teenagers in their car after a party.
Mm-mm.
And other people would have, if she had OD'd, there would be other people that would have, if they had met maybe the person that was providing some of these drugs, maybe a dealer or the guy they have to go out there and, you know, provide things. You know, you'd see other people talking about that, oh my God, we are all slipped a Mickey and blah, 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 you know, more girls would come out. But no, I mean, and Sammy doesn't know. She left. She left the party early. Mags left the party early with her boyfriend after all these boys wanted to do five bong rips with them.
See, and that again, they volunteer all this information of things that kids would normally hide from their parents. They boast it on the news like they're proud of it, but they can't tell us something simple like, where was the car parked? And how did you forget to mention that now we know Kiely had a white hoodie on? That just dropped last night. That she had that on. So did she have two different hoodies on after Sammy left?
Unless she went back to her car and grabbed one of them and had the other one, and her friend said, I want my jacket back. I'm cold. You know, because like I said, but I don't know. This is so weird.
And
the only thing I have is those people that were in her car.
And there's so many rumors about, well, we heard that Kiely was seen last week in Sacramento. It turned out it was a middle-aged, you know, woman that was basically homeless lady out of her mind, topless, running after some car or something. All right, so squash that. Then we hear that the car was spotted in Arizona. Okay, so there's a press conference in roughly 10 minutes. Someone said it's on KTVN. I don't see anything upcoming, but on Facebook, I have the sheriff's Facebook up.
Rats. I wish I were still there. Yeah, I think that they are telling the public just enough, but they know so much more. And we shouldn't be frustrated because they have the capability to find people in so many different ways. And that lake is a 57-foot lake, man-made reservoir that has a lot of silt and mud. So, and I was explaining to Brooks, if you threw, say, a gun, it would land exactly where you saw it, where it landed, because it would get kind of sit there on that top and then kind of get, you know, for boaters and stuff like that, it might get, you know, washed away or whatever. But literally, they have the best sonar and the divers and volunteers that have gone into these waters swimming around.
And so let's talk about the search real quick. I want to clear something up really quick. I've seen it. It was in chat this morning. I am very lax about a lot of things. I am. Other creators, if you mention another creator in their chat, you'll get timed out, you'll get blocked, whatever. I don't really care. Let me explain the problem with that. If someone says, hey, I was watching Barney Rubble's channel and they've got great information, you're going to get several people behind that comment that are going to say, I would never watch that. They don't know what they're doing. Next thing you know, Barney Rubble is emailing me saying, why did you let all those people slam me in your chat? So what we do is we just don't talk about other creators. Unless, a creator said, hey, there's a press conference on right now and they found Kiely. That would be important information. So it just avoids problems on the other side of the street. Does that make sense? Or do I sound like an asshole saying that?
No, because everybody has their own type of format and how they handle the information.
Yeah, I mean, other creators come into chat.
Yeah, exactly.
They come on panel. It's not a big deal. But when we start that, this one has this, that one has that, it doesn't really help the discussion for Kiely. Let me just put it that way. It's not a big deal. Nobody's mad. Nobody thinks anybody's doing anything wrong. It's just what it leads to. So anyway, I'm going to read this real quick. This was sent to me. It's by, I don't know if she's local or what, but I want to go over it before you guys watch me fumble around trying to find the damn press conference. That's been a lot of fun, hasn't it, JPL?
It's been great, and I wish that I was up there to go to all of these, but I don't want to look like, like my husband calls me, Nancy Drew, or Mrs. Kravitz. You're gonna go, what is this woman? What is her? Why is she here so much? And I'm like, I'm just a housewife that's just one of those true crime loving. I can't get it out of my mind. Plus, I'm a mother.
You're a mother, and it's also it's local to you. Of course, you're going to want to know what in the hell is going on here.
Exactly.
City Dweller said Sammy knew what belt Kiely was wearing, but not the color of her hoodie. Not even did she not know the color of her hoodie. Sammy didn't know that she not only had one hoodie on, but two. Come on. All right, so this email I got, it says, a lot of people are questioning, as they do in every case. In every single case, people erupt. They're not searching enough. They should be searching here. They should be searching here. I mean, it could be someone in Australia saying, why aren't they looking here? People have never even been there. It's okay. It happens in every case. We're all frustrated. So here's the email. They have checked the water several times, many different ways. Air, boat, swimming, dogs, all of it. JPL has seen this with her own eyes. Agreed?
Yes.
They said, no, cliffs are not everywhere. Because I keep saying on here, I thought which she left and like she drove over a cliff. Cliffs aren't everywhere. This is the Sierra, but it's not Yosemite. There's nowhere to just drive off a cliff into the lake, really. But where that is a possibility has been searched several times, extensively, and a lot. All right, so we're good there.
Yep.
By many people, SAR crews have logged 3,500 hours. This doesn't include the hundreds of independent searches being conducted by concerned volunteers. She goes on to say, I'll assure all the spectators across the country they are doing everything they can. Okay, so we're good with that. Now, this was a good reminder because I forgot that they had said this. The officers at the community meeting, I don't think this is the one that you were at, JPL. I think this was the one.
The recent one.
Thursday or Friday night. Law enforcement at the community meeting said, if you're thinking it, they are too. They did.
They told me that.
The
officer told me that very thing. And they're not kidding. If we think it, they've already thought about it and gone into it.
So if we're side-eyeing all of this stuff, they're already thinking it. They're not investigating this as just a ran off the road accident. Obviously, they're saying some weird stuff too, because for what is just a car wreck, maybe, they're asking all kinds of things. But to say, if you're thinking it, we are too. They're not doing like in the Summer Wells case going, hey, if you thought of it and you've looked into it, we've already done that. It's out of the way. They're saying, if you're thinking it, we are too.
Oh, yeah.
Did you find that very frank, to be quite honest, blunt?
Oh, they were very blunt with me. I mean, I talked to the Captain Brown. I mean, he's the guy. He knows it all. He's where everybody goes, oh, you want Captain Brown? You want Captain Brown? Oh, you know Captain Brown? So yeah, I mean, he is the one that said, he's the very first officer I approached as I walked through the front door to this conference on last Tuesday. He literally answered my questions and was like, this is unusual. And yeah, I mean, he's the guy. And when he says, if you thought it, we have already thought about it and gone through it.
Okay, so he's saying anything that's going through our heads, they've already checked it off the list.
Absolutely. And that was early on.
Okay. Well, then we've got a bigger problem on our hands.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fun to Ski said, what about the hoodies? Black, now it's white with pink lettering. From what I'm gathering, what they dropped last night, 2 different hoodies were worn by Kiely that night. So either she had a black one on, took it off, which maybe they got her into the fight. She took the hoodie off. I don't know, just guessing. And then for whatever reason, put a white hoodie on. There was 2 different hoodies on Kiely that night.
I still say it's somebody from her car. Whoever went to that car with Sammy and Kiely to recharge, get more booze, as she said, drinks, and perhaps that's where the drugs came in with the other people. And Sammy and maybe Kiely didn't want to partake, or she did. I don't know. And that's where the sweatshirts come in. I think that maybe somebody had that white sweatshirt with the pink in that car.
Well, and I'm wondering, okay, they're saying that this hoodie, I don't know because I don't wear this brand, that this is a popular thing with the kids. It's called Tyler the Creator.
Yeah.
Well, now Sammy, her shirt that says Find Kiely is a Tyler the Creator shirt. If all the kids are wearing it, it's not a big deal. Makes you wonder if Sammy didn't say, here, you can use my hoodie, and then failed to mention it.
Right.
If that's her brand.
Yeah.
And where's the hoodies now? She wasn't wearing both of them when she left.
This is very, very sus. And why did they leave so early if they were going to the party? Why would they leave so early? And then Kiely's the one that said, I want to stay later.
Yeah, good question.
Why are they all going and leaving early, but not? And they felt uncomfortable, but they're going to say, Sammy, this is your first party. Or, you're not really, you're around a lot of people that have done more partying than you. And why don't you come up with us? So that makes me very suspicious that way. They left early. They left her there. And then she says that she gets calls and texts from Kiely right after she leaves. After they had said, I love you and goodbye, And then Jagger does this texting at 10:30. So I don't know.
Is that the don't do anything stupid text?
Yeah.
Which I thought was very odd to come from an ex-boyfriend, even though they're still friends.
Right.
We talked this morning, about Summer Wells and different things that were volunteered by the parents. So we're talking about Sammy. She had to make sure that we knew that he's an ex-boyfriend. That actually is an important thing. Don't take that away. But she added an extra layer of icing saying Kiely been living her single life. Now we find out that they don't really know each other that well. So if she's living the single life, I'm going to assume that she's been dating. Right?
Yeah. According to him, they're dating, or they were dating as of recent. So.
All right. Where's the press conference? I've got the Facebook page up. I've got their YouTube up. Somebody mentioned another channel. We do this every time there's a press conference.
Yeah, and of course, the local television stations, they save it for 4 or 4:30 to put on their.
Yeah, it's not going to be on the TV. It's on the internet, and I know other creators probably already have it up. If I just don't, you're not supposed to cover up the watermark. So where are we? Let me see. Let's go to videos. Okay, that's from 8/12. That doesn't help me. Where is the one that should be going on here in about, 1 minute ago? Okay, I'm at KCRA. Nothing. It says this is about a fire erupting in Solano County.
Fox 40.
Okay, Fox 40.
Fox 40. Go to Fox 40.
I'm on their YouTube right now and nothing. Would it be on their website?
Yeah, check their website. And then put, live coverage or what,
Okay, they had an update. It says what we know about her disappearance. I don't have anything that says streaming now or anything like that. KTVN, nothing. Let's see. I don't have anything on Fox 40's website and I'm on the Facebook. It would be nice if when they put these out, if they would tell us we'll be streaming live from. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There will be a press conference held today at 2 p.m. at the Truckee Donner Recreation. We have no community meetings planned at this time. That it says where to give tips.
That means that it's just going to be media at that meeting, and the community, they're sitting outside in the tents in the RVs that are in the parking lot. But they're going to be just doing media press conference.
Okay. Well, I've got their YouTube pulled up. I'm going all they have is from yesterday. Nothing.
Well, it's 2 o'clock right now.
Yeah, it said at 2 o'clock.
Huh.
Maybe they don't want us streaming their press conference anymore.
That could be it. That, they need to, and then they will edit it. Whoever's streaming it, or doing a story on it, they have to go and edit all this stuff. Because the police will say, you know what, we don't want certain things out that maybe somebody said in here in this room inadvertently,
Oh, that could be for certain, but they haven't had a problem with it up until now. The problem is
yeah. Hey, do you still have those pictures that I sent you? I kept sending you pictures, and I sent you a picture of a big white truck and what it had on the side of it.
Let me look. I did get a bunch of pictures.
I gave you a bunch of pictures, and there are a couple of where the lake, and also I think I sent you pictures of that search and rescue area with the I can't remember what it's called. Is it the Office of Operations of the Governor's Office or something like that? It's a big white truck.
I do. I see Governor's Office Emergency Services.
Yeah. So they're clearly, this is an enormous operation. Enormous. These guys haven't slept. Captain Brown said he has not slept. Thank God restaurants are feeding them, sending them food. They're around the clock.
Black sweatshirt at some point during that evening, but we have received video evidence.
Well, I don't know. I want to see the press conference. Go to channel 2. Well, what's channel 2? What's their call number?
That sounds like the Bay Area or channel 4. I'm trying to think.
Looking right at their Facebook page.
4 is a Bay Area station.
Okay.
I believe 2 is as well. It's a San Francisco station.
Okay, what's the, let's see, let's look at ABC 10. They have, let's see. Nothing there. Nothing there. What would the call numbers be, or the call letters? I'm sorry.
God, I wish I had my other.
This is the van that I live in.
Somebody wants talking about his van. CBS San Francisco Bay Area. Okay, someone said Facebook Live. Well, I just had that pulled up. This is insane. Okay, I'm on their Facebook. I do not see anything. This one lady said you should really consider live streaming your press conferences on your YouTube channel. It's very hard to find links to these press conferences to watch them live. Thank you, sister. Videos.
KRON 4.
All right, hang on. Say that again. Okay. What is it? Did we lose JPL? Are you there, JPL?
Here, I'm here. Are you here?
Yeah, what's the call letters?
KRON 4.
Okay.
They were at the press conference.
Well, and there's nothing on their YouTube. Let me look at their website. KRON 4. You guys are so awesome for hanging out. And
yeah, no kidding. Hope you're hanging out in air conditioning if you're anywhere where it's blazing hot.
This says live in the Bay. Nothing about Kiely. So, okay, what is this? Watch live. Watch live online. That is nothing about Kiely for sure.
Well, KCRA 3 would be the NBC station that's been putting stuff out, and that's in Sacramento, or Fox 40. And they have been putting out the most information on this.
Well, not today because I cannot find where they're streaming it anywhere.
Well, then I'm wondering how some of these other creators are.
I don't know, but you have to make sure that.
Are they watching the same thing? Yeah. Are they watching the recent or the last one and talking about it? We don't know.
What's going on right now. And the thing is when you put them up, you have if they're streaming it live from there, and I'm not saying that they're not. I'm not going to other channels obviously right now because I'm trying to find it. Like you have to make sure that they have the call symbol up, the call letters.
Right.
So I don't know. I'll explain that later. There's another creator getting in trouble for that. All right, hang on. While I find this, bear with me. We're going to go through the one from last time. Just give me a second. Because we only caught part of it on Saturday. So we're going to go through the one from last time. And then while I'm playing that, I'm going to find the one going on right now. Hold your horses.
I hear your cat.
Good afternoon. I'm Angela Musalam, Public Information Officer with the Placer County Sheriff's Office. I'm joined by our local, state, and federal agencies today as we continue Search Day 7 for Kiely Rodni. To date, we've dedicated over 9,000 man-hours for the search for Kiely. We've ramped up our search for the weekend. Today, we have over 200 search and rescuers, including searchers by air and searchers in the water. Our detectives and FBI agents continue to sort through and comb through over 1,000 leads that we've received up until today from the beginning of this search. Yesterday, there was a potential burial site that was located near the campground. It was located by a search and rescue ground team. Kiely's family was notified of the potential development. The FBI responded to secure the scene yesterday and was accompanied by the Placer and Nevada County Sheriff's Offices. FBI agents investigated the site through early this morning and recovered the remains of a dog. Let me be clear. We have one team, one mission, and one goal, and that is to find 16-year-old Kiely Rodni. We will not be holding a community meeting tonight.
Okay, while I'm finding this, I just had to stop and commentate really quick. I love when Angela said we have one team. One team. I have a feeling that didn't set right with a couple of kids, meddling kids, that think they're driving the train.
Yeah, I agree. She's on. That lady is very, very good as their police spokesperson. She's on it, and she's very upfront. I noticed that she has put on her now uniform, kind of, because people were coming at her about her dress and the way she was dressing. It was like, leave her alone. But now she's got to put on like this uniform so that it's not so,
Oh, I thought she looked beautiful.
I thought she looked great.
Independent News is live with press conference.
Independent News. Okay.
I don't see it on mine. I don't know what's going on. Hang on.
There's a concert, we understand, to support Kiely's family happening at the Truckee Regional Park from 1 to 4 p.m. We'd like to remind everybody we have set up multiple ways for people to anonymously contact the Sheriff's Office regarding tips. Some of those options are available here to my left. We have an online portal. We also have a tip line that you can call by phone. We also have a link tree that we set up for people who would like to submit any photos and any videos from that evening of the party. You will be able to submit them anonymously without using your name, number, or email address. So again, we still are urging people in the community who may still be hesitant You know, you're not going to.
When they said, has everybody been cooperative?
All we want to know is, where is Kiely? Where is her vehicle? We just want to find Kiely. Thank you.
Angela, can you or the officers behind you confirm that her phone, Kylie's phone?
Oh, okay. I just think Angela is awesome. Awesome. I am very well aware that there is another creator that is saying that Kiely has been spotted in Arizona. I am not running anywhere with that until, now mind you, they just did a press conference and there's nothing about her in Arizona. For those of you that are new here, we stick with the facts, which are hard enough to wrap our minds around. They are. Obviously, we have to, I don't want to say entertain, but we have to discuss what Sammy has said, what Jagger has said, and what Cream Brulee has said. And we will do that. It harms a case so bad when you get the public freaking out about a sighting in Arizona. That tip line gets tied up with people saying, why didn't you tell us about her in Arizona? So until law enforcement comes out, and it won't be at their everyday 2 p.m. schedule, that would be something extremely important. That would be breaking news. We have not had any breaking news. We all know what breaking news looks like. We haven't had anything like that. KTVN2 Facebook. Thank you, Voice for the Voiceless. And then I'm going to rewind it and we're going to watch it. Hang on, I'll find it.
The last ping was in the water.
Yeah, the ping for the data points and everything were near the water. It's hard to tell an exact pinpoint or anything like that, but just as much on land as it was in the water.
That's what I was told, that it was near the water, and searches took place near that vicinity. Are those going to continue?
Yeah, today we have 226 searchers, pretty astronomical number. I think the overhead team at the search and rescue, they deployed out all 226 members within about an hour. And so that's a pretty big feat on its own. They've extensively been planning and prepping overnight so that when people get here, we're ready to roll. The area has been walked, driven, flown, grid searched. They're getting into tighter grid searching to, at this point, we're looking for small and anything evidence-wise, as opposed to cars, people, things of that nature, even phones. We're trying to make it even tighter. We had swimmers we announced the other day that actually did surface swimming, so we don't want to disturb the water even underneath, because that can cause its own problems. And divers have been deployed at this point as well to assist in the search, and it's been pretty thorough overall. But yeah, we continue to look for that item as well. Just because it was last pinged there, that doesn't mean that that's where the phone stopped being. There's lots of reasons of why those notifications or data points could be lost.
Could you tell us what body of water and what time that last ping was?
The Prosser Lake is where we're focused on right now.
Okay, it's actually really, really important as a refresher what he just said. Because there was a ping there doesn't necessarily mean she is there. But the focus of their search as of Saturday was at Prosser Lake. Did you hear anything about that, JPL, when you were in town over the weekend?
About the search?
At the lake.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I when I first drove down, because I didn't know where I was going, I went all the way down Prosser Dam Road. And I literally, if it was nighttime and you didn't have very good lights on your car, you could go right into it goes right into a boat ramp. The road goes right into a boat ramp into the Prosser Lake. But that's not where they were. They may have parked their cars where the boats launched their boats from there, but they they were not there on that road. And like I said, they weren't at campground 4, but they could have been on the other side. And her, even though she pinged, I think it was the area. I mean, they don't know if it's exactly the inside the lake or if it's in a tree, you know?
Yeah, 100% right. And that's what he's
In
saying.
a hollow log.
Ping there doesn't mean that.
Right. In a hollow log. And a lot of the trees around there had gone, like I said, they died. So there's a lot of just, I think I sent you pictures of that too, of what the land around that lake is like.
Yeah, and a lot of people in chat have questions if they've searched, if they haven't. So I'm going to read this again. If you're just coming in, this was sent to me. They have checked the water several times in many ways. Air, boat, swimming, dogs. JPL herself saw it. Now, they've been searching since. So it's not like they just had this idea on Saturday. That they're probably going to keep searching it. They have to exhaust all of this search until they get to what possibly could be going on. So I am going to put the press conference on. This just closed down a couple seconds ago. Hang on. Thank you, Voice for the Voiceless.
Good afternoon. I'm Angela Musalam, the Public Information Officer for the Placer County Sheriff's Office. I'm joined by our Unified Command today, and we're providing an update on the investigation and search for Kiely Rodni. I'd like to first introduce Nevada County Sheriff's Captain Sam Brown for the latest on the search and rescue efforts.
Good afternoon, everybody. So obviously our search for Kiely continues, and trying to do the best that we can to keep things moving in a positive way and attempt to find some clues and locate some idea of where we need to get to. We've been working pretty close with the family, trying to make sure that we're providing them with up-to-date information, but also try to protect from a lot of the ups and downs that have occurred throughout this whole ordeal. We are still looking for any clues, videos, tips, any information to help us to put pieces together and help us to direct where we're going and how we're going to continue to do a search. We are moving into a more limited but continuous search and rescue effort. We've pulled in a ton of resources towards that goal. And I think to date, we've had over like 9,000 man hours into searching, which is pretty astronomical. Our biggest problem is where do we go and how do we keep sustaining this? And so we do have some plans that were continued. Our team, our overhead team, worked extremely hard into long hours and continues to work to this day on creating plans that we can continue to follow up on. But we are going to have to switch modes and kind of focus on the investigative end and try to figure out where do we go from there. We still want all eyes and ears out there. We're coming into hunting season. We're hoping for people to have eyes out all over the place. And we're going to continue to put all of our efforts in as a unified command and continue to try to do our best as we move forward. So in the last 10 days that we've been searching, there's been an incredible effort. There's too many agencies, too many people to thank. But it has been pretty astronomical, the resources from air support to ground support to divers and swimmers and you name it, we probably called and asked for it. And I would say that the majority of resources came in a relatively quick period of time. As we start to transition into more of the background investigative stuff that's been going on and really putting emphasis on that, we continue to work with the detectives. The Nevada County Sheriff's Office is highly invested in that end, as we have been from the very beginning, and we're going to continue to try to do the best that we can to keep things moving forward. The biggest thing that I'd like to say from our end on the search effort is we really appreciate the outpouring of support that's been from the community, from the family, and everything that's been going on. The community members and even folks from outside the community coming in to help look for Kiely and continue doing that search on their own as well is extremely important and has helped us with a lot of, hey, where should we go and how do we do it? I've never seen such great support, but I want to make sure that everybody stays in a positive mode and continues to move forward, because we still need people to have their eyes and ears out there and keep working towards the goal. And our goal, which has never changed from the beginning, is to find Kiely Rodni. Thanks.
I'd like to now introduce Placer County Sheriff's Lieutenant Josh Barnhart for the most recent update on the investigation.
Good afternoon. I would like to also thank Kiely's family for their continued support in this effort. It has truly been a feat. I'd like to commend the community for coming together to support us in all of their search and rescue efforts. I'd like to commend our own search and rescue and detectives, and also you, our media partners, for helping us put out the word about Kiely. We are committed to following through on all the tips that we receive. We are continuing to investigate leads from those tips. Today, we have 50 plus detectives that are out and about interviewing and following up on those tips. We've married up with the FBI, our detectives in the FBI, to go out and do that. Another request is for more video. If anyone has more video that they have not submitted, please, there's no small amount of information for us. And more witness accounts from the party. If you have not come forward, if you were there and you saw something, please come forward and let us know. In closing, I'd like to say that we're putting the pedal down, that we're continuing to move forward this week, and that after this week, we will be modifying things to a task force style. That means our resources will continue to move forward, but in somewhat of a different manner. Thank you.
As many of you are aware, yesterday we put out an updated photo on a sweatshirt that Kiely was seen wearing at the party Friday evening. Just to provide some clarification on that, we did receive a video evidence showing Kiely at the party wearing the white sweatshirt you see to my left. To clear up any confusion, that same day, Kiely was loaned that black sweatshirt you see above the first sweatshirt. And we never detailed or said that she was wearing the black sweatshirt. We believe that Kiely was in possession of the black sweatshirt at some point during that evening, but we have received video evidence showing Kiely wearing the black sweatshirt, and she was seen at the party. I'm sorry, the white sweatshirt, excuse me. So I just wanted to clarify that portion. We've also received confirmation that there is a RAM sticker that is located on the back of Kiely's vehicle, right underneath the rear wiper blade. So we believe this is very important information for the community and anybody in the area who continues to call in any tips to see if they can clarify that they also see a RAM sticker on the back of Kiely's vehicle. That was one notable thing that we've noticed. As you know, we remain committed to finding Kiely. That is all the information we have to share right now. We will continue to share any updates as they come and as we're able to release them to the public, to our social media accounts. So at this point, the press conference will conclude. We will limit questions to the press only and 2 questions per reporter in the interest of time, because we would like to get our command staff back to the incident command posts so they can continue their investigation.
Someone asked me why they haven't sent out an Amber Alert yet. Is it because they didn't meet the criteria?
So that question was answered very extensively, about 4 or 5 days in a row. I can have the California Highway Patrol elaborate on that if you can. Thank you.
Sergeant Strucker with the California Highway Patrol Truckee, and essentially, yes, there's very detailed and specific criteria for Amber Alerts. And as much as we might want to get that information out, the specifications on what has to be met in order to make that wasn't there. We, I think, collectively agree that the big social media push and whatnot that we've had
has certainly reached a tremendous amount of people. So I personally feel very comfortable that our outreach in that capacity has accomplished what we could have accomplished with the Amber Alert. And certainly if things do change and that criteria changes, we would again apply for it and see if that'll happen from Sacramento.
You said probably word in a little bit of a different way. Can you say what that means in terms of personnel and search groups?
Sure, I'll have Lieutenant Josh Barnhart answer that question.
I figured that would come up. So we've identified lead investigators from each agency, Placer County Sheriff, Nevada County Sheriff, CHP, Truckee PD, the FBI, and we will be moving forward with task force manner. That means that with these leads, we'll be able to cycle personnel through rather than having a large group of personnel here. It doesn't mean the investigation is going to stop. It will continue to move forward. I hope that answers your question.
Has there been any change of position by the adults that have advised the teens not to speak? We talked about this a few days ago, that this was a very important part, that there was adults advising the teens that were at the party not to speak and contact authorities. Has there been any change in position with that?
I don't know that that's readily apparent. We only received several reports a few days ago. And since then, we haven't received additional reports, but that doesn't mean that people are still telling, other teens potentially or young adults to not come forward. Our detectives and the FBI investigators are extremely committed to interviewing as many people as possible who went to that party, and they continue to do so today.
Thank you.
To follow up on that question, have anyone interviewed by the FBI in the surrounding area been uncooperative with investigators?
I'm going to let Lieutenant Barnhart answer that question.
I would say for the most part, everyone's been very cooperative, yes. And like I said, thank you to the community. Many people have come forward and given us information, but we haven't run into very large roadblocks with people not wanting to give us information. I think what JD was talking about was probably an isolated incident that we were able to get past.
Thank you. Thank you.
In the future, will you be able to release the image of Kiely wearing the pink and white shirt?
That's up to the investigators, but at this point, we don't want to compromise the investigation. So this was the only photo we were able to release. Any more questions?
Since the investigation is proceeding in a different way, will there continue to be press conferences and community meetings in the future?
We will not be holding a community meeting today, but we will hold press conferences as needed.
Am I allowed one more question?
Sure.
I have a question from the public, from my listeners.
Sure.
That went out and searched and used the CalTopo. And they want to ask that in what capacity have you used their searches within your searches? Captain Brown?
Yeah, JD, thanks. That's a great question. And I would still put emphasis that even as the search goes into a limited and continuous mode, that map is still accessible. So anybody that's going out for the length of time that we don't have answers, I would recommend logging on and throwing those tracks out there. So ultimately, when search and rescue operates, there's an overhead team that designs plans and creates them. And we do that based off of information from the investigation, information from the map that folks are going out and using. That doesn't necessarily mean, though, that we don't go out and say search that same area, which is also why we told people, that it doesn't matter if we went and searched somewhere. If you go and search it again, you could literally be standing on a cliffside and not see something that's on the other side based on trees and terrain and rocks and all kinds of various things. And it's happened in many searches and in many areas. And so that still remains a huge possibility. But those tracks are taken into consideration as they come in of, okay, what kind of resource or what kind of, push do we go? And is there really good coverage and is the land flat? Then that might indicate something versus if on a topographical map, if there's more slant and slope, and even though people may have walked on the top end, maybe we still need air support get better eyes on it. But I would say that it has been a tremendous tool. It was fairly innovative from the team that's doing things, and CalTOPO for us for search and rescue has always been a huge help, and just adding more tracks and more information doesn't always give us the answers, but it gives us an idea of direction and things. But yeah, it has been helpful in the event that the community is like, why are we doing this? We know we haven't released any maps. We're still not choosing to do that at this time. At a certain point, we may choose to do that, but it's been discussed, and it really doesn't give any benefit or help because we don't have a direction or clue of where to go anyway. So everybody's pretty familiar with where the epicenter of this all occurred, and it is worldwide from that point, expanding out of where do you go. So thank you, though, for that.
Well, thank you.
Everybody good? All right. Thank you so much for helping us spread the word. We appreciate it, and we hope to have updates for everybody soon.
Thank you.
I'm not good. Oh my God. Woo, I was jotting down notes. Okay, Sonia Allen, why would she change from a black to a white sweatshirt unless it got bloodied or soiled? Yeah. Where are the hoodies? Where are they at? Voice for the voiceless. I got questions. Me too, girlfriend. Okay, so they're putting together a task force, which in a way means they're kind of scaling back a little bit. He said they are not stopping in the investigation or anything. He said they're taking a more investigative approach. Switching gears is what they're telling us. They're switching gears.
Then they know way more than they're telling people, and they have to keep it. They have to keep it under wraps, and they need to really look at all of these. They need to get warrants for these guys, unless they've already given up their phone. I don't know.
These kids are not just going to part with their phones. It's their lifeline. So
Yeah,
they're still needing more and more and more information. Okay, so Sammy, you lose again. It's a ram, like a tribal sticker from what I'm understanding on there. Innocent enough. Maybe Sammy doesn't know the difference between a bull and a ram. That's okay. That's okay. So they did verify that. So they must have a picture of the car from the party. Forgive me for where I questioned if the car was even there. That's all it could be.
Yeah, but Meg went with her, unless she's totally lying. That she went with her. She met her boyfriend there.
10 minutes.
That was her meetup with her boyfriend. I'll meet you there.
Yeah, 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Bye. Then she and Sammy got hooked up, and they drank exactly the same thing.
Same exact.
She'll leave.
Yeah.
No, wait. At 10:30, she talked to the boyfriend, so she would have been with her when she was talking to Jagger. Sammy would have been with her at 10:30 when she was talking to Jagger, and maybe they got in a fight or something after that, and then she wanted to leave. I forgot what time she said she left. Did she leave at 11:30, Sammy?
That's what she said. I have never heard that's been verified. Law enforcement does not bring the friends up, though.
Yeah.
I think as long now.
Remember what I said? Ransom.
Yeah, Angela said they're going to keep having press conferences as needed. I think when the heat turns up on this, we're not going to be having the daily press conferences because they're going to have to start. I wouldn't say have to start naming names, but we're going to be able to assume who they're talking about. And you're right. Sammy did say that. Now, this is how she described what was going on. Kiely, was having a fun time at the party, just being a teenager. It strikes me so odd that she describes Kiely as a teenager. Well, what are you, Sammy? I mean, you're a typical teenager too, right? Everything she drank, I drank out of. And there was nothing that seemed off about her. She told that to ABC News. Why was Mags only there for 10 minutes? Was it just basically she hitched a ride and then she already had plans to leave and ditch the party? I don't know. They're going to keep asking about this damn Amber Alert. He's explained it every day. We know the different criteria in every state. In every state.
Yeah, and it didn't check all the boxes. One box wasn't checked off. And even they themselves know that that was a huge red flag. They should not have, that they should have made this a criteria. I mean, this girl, all the other boxes were met. Just put it on there. Hurry up.
Yep.
This is not a runaway.
He said it's very specific criteria. He said 3 of the 4 were met, but didn't specify which one was not. He didn't say that today. That's been other days. I mean, like she said, I don't blame Angela for being annoyed. It's like, do you listen? Do you listen? We've told you every single day. There was an isolated incident of someone that was uncooperative. They said that they got past that. Who was not volunteering information? I would love to know, but we got past that.
Yeah, I don't know. Either A, it is a trafficking thing. I'm not kidding. Mm-hmm. And her car has been put on a flatbed, or I even asked you about a semi. If a car like that could go into a semi.
Oh, you bet. That's how they transport cars.
But don't you usually see them on the outside? You know what I mean? They have those trailers.
Yeah, but there's some that are enclosed. Look at I'm not saying they did this, but like Reliable auto carriers, you'll see a big orange truck going down the road. It says Reliable. They've got cars in there.
Okay, we'll see. Okay, there you go. So they're saying that she possibly came up on them. They were trying to steal the car. They saw her. She said something. They took her and the car. That car's on a trailer or inside a semi, and they're gone. 2 people, they're driving to Mexico or somewhere else. But what was interesting is that the guy that I talked to said they're either in Mexico or the Philippines. When he said the Philippines, I'm like, that's random weird. And he goes, no, this is not random. It's not random. I'm like, oh, okay.
Okay, I'm looking at this. All right. We haven't really heard anything specific about what, I mean, the FBI is not, I mean, they're the FBI, don't get me wrong, but they have different divisions. As you know, there's behavioral science. We talk about a lot in the Summer Wells case, Harmony and others, the FBI card unit, and their job is to investigate child abductions. All right. The FBI also has a department that does nothing but investigate human trafficking. So I have not read or heard from any of these conferences that they have requested their help or that they have gotten involved.
Yeah. Well, the Reno airport is not that far. So that's how the Philippines, I think, that or Mexico by the truck.
So then we have to figure out, how would she get on an airplane? You know, they would have to check ID somewhere. Oh, private. Well, and I want to know who could have facilitated this and why Kiely. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. I mean, we're going everywhere. I mean, the sky is wide and there is all kinds of stuff going on. All kinds of stuff going on. I'm dying to know who was uncooperative, and he said it was an isolated incident. Obviously, they changed their tune, so that's good.
Right.
Press
conference is 18, you guys. She's 18.
Someone said on the private investigator site, I haven't looked at their website, it lists her as 22. I'm not saying that's true. I'm not calling anyone a liar. I'm just saying I haven't seen it. Yeah, and if you're having some kind of trafficking party, I'm not discrediting anyone's theory or the possibility, because it is possible.
Right.
200 people, and just Kiely's missing. I've got a huge, that's insane. That's why my first reaction was she left and had an accident. Or the accident was at the party and the accident had to get covered up.
I agree with that. If there was an accident, it was totally covered up. Jagger knows how to get rid of cars.
Yeah, he's a car photographer, correct?
Yeah, but that means he's hanging out with a lot of these car enthusiast guys, and they've all got these. They travel together, and they're on the Snapchat and whatever to say, okay, there's a sideshow at 11 p.m. at Charter Way, something like that, you know. And he goes there and he takes pictures and stuff for them, and then the cops find out, and then there's like 11 tow trucks waiting to make a lot of money.
I plead the fifth said, and has money, and I'm sure they have a trailer. Now, I will say this, for a semi-truck, car hauler, anything, any oversized vehicle like that would be impossible to get back in there. They would have had to have drove the car and had this set up somewhere. I don't see Sammy having those connections at all. Also, going into Mexico, you're frequently checked if you're in a semi-truck. Frequently. People bring... Trafficking is a big thing. And they will say, I have to check your trailer. Coming into the country, they have to. Empath tests, what are the updates? That they're assigning a task force. They're taking a more investigative approach. She does have a RAM, someone described it as a tribal sticker on
Ken's razor.
on the back of the CRV. They mentioned somebody was uncooperative, but they got past that hurdle, I believe, and that was an isolated incident. Still doesn't make me feel any better. They're going to have press conferences as needed, no community meeting tonight, but they are not going to release any picture at all of Kiely from the party. Odd to me, with that many kids, and I don't believe for a minute that all 200 of them were in on anything, knew of anything that could be going on, but with all the posting, all the stuff that goes on, there's not one picture of her floating around from that party. But I guess we would have been looking for her in the black tank top, but then it changed to black hoodie. And I guess now it's white. Now it's all of the above, correct?
Pretty much.
Last night they put this out. We have developed information that Kiely was seen in a video earlier in the evening at the party wearing the white sweatshirt. I'll put that picture up in a second. Pictured in this photo. Had to cut the screen. It's unclear whether Kiely was wearing the sweatshirt when she was last seen. We are asking anyone who may remember seeing Kiely that evening to please reach out to us as we continue to search for her. All right, so they have verification from a video. And there's the white sweatshirt. Earlier in the week, we were told she's had we have two wardrobes that night. Well, three. She shows up in the black bodysuit that, she had to unsnap. At some point in the evening, she had on this white hoodie That in pink says Odd Future on it. And sometime during the night as well, we have the black hoodie on. One lady reached out and she said, I thought it was black. Placer County Sheriff said she was loaned a black sweatshirt that same day. We have video now showing Kiely was wearing a white sweatshirt at some point during the party. Help me, JPL.
Maybe she threw up on it and had to change and got that other one in the car. And they all went to the car. I don't know.
It could be simple. She got sick one, and they had to find something else for her to wear. I don't know. People are saying it could be alcohol poisoning. She could have OD'd.
Yeah. I mean, she had to go back to the car with 3 other people, one of them being Sammy. And what if the sweatshirt was already in the car, or one of those people said, oh my God, she just got sick. Let's give her, here, she can have my sweatshirt.
Yep.
You know,
that's what I'm wondering too.
But it's that car. It's that car and the people that were in the car and how long they all stayed. And it wasn't very long. So why?
And again, for people just coming in, JPL went back to Truckee again this weekend, spoke to a woman whose daughter was at the party, who said that was Kiely's first party. She'd never partied before. You tell the story, JPL.
Yeah. So I go into a boutique and I'm talking to a lady and I said, gosh, can you believe this girl is still missing? And she goes, I know, it's so sad. I go, do you have kids? And she goes, yeah, my daughter was at the party. And
what did you think when she said that?
Wow, I was just blown away. I'm thinking in my head, of all people I talked to happens to have a kid that was at the party. And she said that she was there. And there were a lot of people. She said there were a lot of people. So when they said 200 to 250, she wasn't kidding. They weren't kidding. The other thing she said, she's the one that told me she was homeschooled and that she didn't do sports. But she's always lived in Truckee, and her daughter was born in Truckee. All these kids were pretty much born and raised in this little town. And so their parents have all gone to school together. And and they're still young enough that they would have gone to a party with their kids. Some of them, some of the dads, I'm sure, went. They don't care if their kids smoke pot. They'll do it right in front of them. They were doing it right in front of a news camera and the parents that were at the tents. I mean, they're just lighting it up, sharing their joint right there at the car in the parking lot. And I'm like, well, they're not afraid to show their drug use.
Yeah, that's what you were saying. You said it's not like they're hiding this from their parents. So again, why was Sammy so adamant that these kids are scared to tell their parents anything? It seems to me, especially from what you dug up, it was not a secret they were going off to party. And when you were in the parking lot, like you said, they were blazing up.
Yeah. She said this was a local party, the high schools around there. And, and a lot of the people that come up from the Bay Area, their parents have second houses. And when they're on their ski team, they stay up in that area and they go to the charter schools or the academies around there. Now, Palisades is brand new because we had to change the name from Squaw Valley to Palisades because Squaw was so hurtful to Indian women. And I still call it Squaw Valley. I don't care. But they were, that part of 89 to get to Squaw Valley was being searched when I drove up there with my husband. And it was on the other side of the Truckee River. Now, the 89 splits, so you can go south or you can go east. And if you go east, you have to keep going on 80 to get to that.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a road that goes through Truckee, the little town, that will take you right to the 89 south. So they have been extensively doing that part. And that goes right towards Lake Tahoe. If you kept going on 89 south, it'll take you to Tahoe City and Lake Tahoe. So they've been on that side of the lake in those parts. And I think that is where her mother has a lodge. I don't know if somebody knows.
Yeah, it's
if
12
that's
miles,
where it is.
12 miles away from where the campground is. And let me clarify something. I'm not saying anything about weed, legal, not legal, that it's a terrible drug. Okay, I'm not saying anything about that. I'm saying I don't believe the kids are shy to tell their parents what they're doing. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
I wasn't trying to get off on that debate at all. At all.
18 and over, you can go in to any
dispensary. We're asking about the age limit.
Okay, 18 and over are allowed to go in, show your driver's license to any dispensary in California, and purchase marijuana, edibles, infused drinks. So 18. And fentanyl is on the streets, but I've heard of this, of people actually cutting the cocaine with a lot of different things. But like I said, if that had happened, somebody else would have OD'd.
Because they'd be passing it around, right? Because it is common. We hear it on the news. We read it in articles quite a bit. I think I posted something in the Crime Lines and Lies Facebook page not too long ago about, somebody had marijuana, weed, whatever you want to call it, and it was laced, and the girl, passed away. The girl passed away. But no, nobody's throwing shade at weed. What I'm saying is, and I didn't mean to confuse anyone, that I wasn't trying to bring a debate up about it, is that I don't think these kids are shy. They seem to have a very lax, almost peer-to-peer relationship, some of them, with their parents.
Yes.
I don't think the problem is not letting mom and dad know what they were doing. I think maybe mom and dad, some of them turned a blind eye, and they're the ones saying, we're not talking to them. Let them do their work. They've got a badge. They can figure it out. Nothing happened. We didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah. No, it's, unless that was intended for her and her alone.
Well, that could be. How come Sammy was so, and I'm not making Sammy out to be the bad guy here. She put a lot of information out. Like I said, we got to refocus. We're playing opposite day again with the Kiely case. She was adamant to say, and try to make a believer out of everybody, she drank out of everything Kiely drank out of, and she didn't seem messed up. Yet when she approached her for a ride home, she was like, oh, no way am I riding with you. You're too messed up.
Right.
So when we make the story up as we go along, also known as talking out of your ass, you're going to get checked out and called out.
Right. And everybody's saying how shit-faced she was. Well, then, Sammy, you'd be the same. If you guys drank the same, unless after you left, somebody gave Kiely something else. And you just happened to be gone, and Maggie and her boyfriend happened to be gone, and Jagger's talking to her at 10:30, and then an hour later, Sammy leaves her alone. Don't know. It's just weird.
Eileen says this situation appears to be foul play with a quickness. It turned that way really fast. Barbara, thank you. She made a point about sharing stuff. Why? That is to let us all know that nobody could have slipped or anything. Nothing bad could have been going on besides, drug use and whatever for kids under 21 or under 18. Lots of people partied in high school. That's not the debate here. But yeah,
Right.
she made it a point to ABC News to say, don't worry about that. Don't worry about it. I drank out of everything she drank out of. A lot of people they have questions about the lake that they've been searching. They've searched it over and over and over, but they went back on Saturday. So hello, Eddie, welcome in. So JPL, are you familiar with Prosser Lake?
Oh, I am now.
I know you are.
Yep.
You are our eyes everywhere but the sky right now. All right, so let's look at this to get kind of an idea of where they're searching. Well, not kind of an idea, it's where they've been searching. Not just there, they've searched many, many other places. Okay, so they're searching all over that. They're still currently, Lone Wolf said, I don't know, we have to verify that. Still searching like 11 miles of it. So we hope nothing comes out of this. It's been over a week. That's a lot of dedicated hours. 57 feet, Jordan, 57 feet. Yes, they've had divers and everything.
I mean, it's enormous. And all along 80, if you go west on 80 towards Sacramento, there are lakes like this all over. All over. The campgrounds are beautiful. I mean, the smell is just to die for. It smells so good out there. But there are great campgrounds all along there. and you take your boats out there and fishing and hiking, and it's a really beautiful part of California. Except we're in extreme drought, and if you see, the shoreline is getting receding, and it's just gorgeous.
Yeah, like Lisa said, that's a 5-story building. So like you said, I mean, they're talking about the water level being so low right now. Not that it's still not a huge task.
Right.
Huge task. Huge.
And the only reason why I say going all the way to Mexico is it's not that unheard of. Literally, you have 2 drivers.
Mm-hmm.
They can make that in 12 hours. It's not that far-fetched.
Anything at this point with this case is possible. Her car evaporated. Kiely disappeared. Phone gone. Stopped. 12:33 a.m. There was no activity here, activity there. Something happened abruptly. One eye open. There's no proof that she ever put the black hoodie on. I haven't seen a picture or video with her wearing that hoodie. Have you all? No, and we're not going to, from what I understand, because in the press conference, Angela said they're not releasing the picture of her in the white hoodie. The surveillance picture from, I guess it's the convenience store, I'll put it up real quick, is all they've released. That's what they've released. They said they don't want to interfere with the integrity of the case. And everyone's confused about the change of wardrobe. One eye open. Trust me, they are. Because here they're asked, I gotta take something down. Hang on.
That's what I said, a red herring. I said, exactly. I mean, maybe they threw out this sweatshirt that she borrowed from somebody
and put another one on her. That could be. Well,
and that she actually had some other one that she had on. Yeah.
Well, and right here, Placer County, someone asked, I thought it was black. Now we're hearing a white one. We know we know we haven't seen her with the black hoodie on, but they are saying, law enforcement, not Sammy, that she did. Now they're saying we also had a white one on. Placer County says she was loaned a black sweatshirt that same day. We have video now showing Kiely was wearing a white sweatshirt at some point during the party. So we got 2. We show up in the black.
Right.
In the black with, the green dicky pants. Sammy described the belt to us. Okay. That's important. Yeah, what she had on. But what there's that they are saying that she had, yes, a black one that they verified earlier in the week, and now the white one. So I think they're wanting the kids to get back in the phone. And if you see somebody with a white hoodie on, or really anything that you have from that day, please send it in. Crime Catcher 101. Absolutely. I'm dropping the link right now. One Eye Open said the white one with the pink lettering was confirmed. So why didn't her friends mention that particular sweatshirt since they were with her all day? Your guess is as good as mine.
I think it was in the car. Somebody that was in that car had that sweatshirt.
How did someone that supposedly knows everything that's happening, you know who I'm talking about, has no recollection of her in a black hoodie and then changes into a white hoodie, or vice versa? That's what we're saying. The white one with the pink no. Oh my God.
Yeah, no, not. Somebody's keeping something from somebody.
But they can't, not with JPL on the scene. She's digging it up left and right.
A lot of these parents are friends with each other, and I think that that's how their kids are friends. So they're not like friends, but they're like when they get together, they're like acquaintances. They're, so I'm sure their parents party with each other. I could totally see it.
So covering for each other's adult actions, because no matter how you want to run your home, if you want to be BFF with your child that is 14, 15, 16, 17, up to 18, and hey, I'll look the other way. You do, you know, if you're going to go to the party and you're going to get drunk off your ass, whatever, hey, I did it at your age too. If that's how you want to run your household and you're going to keep it between four walls, that's one thing.
Right.
The law is still the law. We don't make the law. And the law says you don't contribute to the delinquency of a minor. I'm not surprised that the parents aren't saying too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, empath. No, not in my house. They have friends. They need parents. They have friends. Obviously, they just had a party of 250 people.
Well, they went and cleaned up for these kids as well. And then all that trash, I'm praying they've located some of it. Too bad they can't get DNA from evidence there. It would be crazy, but you know, I've heard crazier. So
probably going to start flinging out those warrants if they haven't already. There's more data out there. There's more pictures, there's more video. Now we know, hello, Amanda Fletcher. We do know that the picture to prove the party happened. We didn't doubt that the party happened. We doubted that it was that big. So that was what Sammy turned over to Channel 13. 26 kids and a bunch of damn trash. Now I'm wondering why. I'm wondering a lot of things. And why the black hoodie and the white hoodie were never mentioned. A change of wardrobe during the night that Kiely later went missing from is a big deal. It's a big deal.
Yep.
There are tons of rumors out there. That's why I said at the beginning of the show, we're going to discuss what Sammy has put out there publicly, Jagger has put out there publicly via their social media accounts, or what they have said on the news. Cool with that, especially what law enforcement is telling us. But if some nutbag in your Facebook group said, I swear I saw Kiely with an Amish family at my local warehouse market, not going to entertain that.
Mm-hmm. Unless you snapped a picture of her and it was actually her.
Yeah, that's when we're going to scream pictures or it didn't happen. All right, a lot of people have been talking today about Ryan Upchurch. Of course, we know Upchurch, you know, country, not singer, rapper. He does sing too. He puts his 2 cents in on some true crime cases. So let's watch this real quick, and then we'll bring voices up. Hang on. A lot of people are saying that he has a really interesting theory. So I don't think it's so much of a theory as he's just calling these kids out. But let's go. Let's see.
Okay, a 16-year-old girl went to a party. She's gone. Not only is she gone, the car that she drove to the party in is also gone. The only people who knew about her and talked to her and seen her during this time is Jagger, the ex-boyfriend.
At 10:30, she responded to what I was saying and just said, "Oh, I'm sorry that you're going through that," and that was the last time I heard from her.
Kate, the girl who made creme brulee with her.
The day of the party, I hung out with her. We made creme brulee. Everything was normal.
Sammy, the girl who seen her when she got to the party and was the last person to see her.
Yes, I was the last person to contact her after the party, and I was with her basically throughout the entire party.
Then you got Megs, the chick who rode there with her, and then left 10 minutes later.
Within the only 10 minutes that I was there, I literally had a group of 5 guys try to come get me to take as many bong rips as I could.
All right, let's start with Jagger. I don't think Jagger did shit. I think Jagger's innocent. I think Kate Kuno is innocent as well. Some people think it's weird that he was like, hey, if you find out anything, call my number. I can filter through stuff. Personally, I don't think that's weird. He's a 16-year-old kid. He listens to stuff like Suicide Boys. He probably thinks the cops don't give a fuck and they gonna do shit. So that's probably his way of being like, let me know and I'll go look. Plus, the Jagger dude was 4 hours away with his dad during this time. He was nowhere near the party. And if what I seen was correct, Jagger drove all the way down to meet up with her parents the next day. You know who he didn't meet up with? All these other fucking people who were staying there with her. Why do you think that is? Who's the one person from around the area she went missing that Jagger is standing beside? Kate Kuno.
Kylie's close friend Kate Kuno says they spent the afternoon together on Friday, just hours before she disappeared.
Kate was with Kiely before the party. She knows more than anyone, probably. She probably knows the most. If she knows the most, she's going to hit up Kylie's ex-boyfriend, especially if she knows he's a good guy and could help, which is why they're standing beside each other. And another thing, these other girls that are claiming to be Kylie's friend, why isn't Kate standing with them? Exactly. I don't think they did anything. I think they're innocent. I think they're actually worried about her. Plus, if he done something, do you think he's going to drive straight to Mama Bear, somebody who has the best intuition about her daughter? No. All right, now let's talk about Megs. She said before the party she was hanging out with Kiely. Okay, well, Kate said she was hanging out with Kiely. Why did Megs ride to the party with Kiely, stay 10 minutes, and leave?
Within the only 10 minutes that I was there, I literally had a group of 5 guys try to come get me to take as many bong rips as I could, forcefully without my boyfriend present.
So as soon as Megs gets there, within 10 minutes, she steps out of the car and everybody's forcing her to take bong rips. No. Your boyfriend got there in 10 minutes? Did he just drive really fast? Or did you call him ahead of time and be like, hey, pick me up at this party that I'm not going to stay at. Meet you there. That seems kind of dumb, but I mean, I guess it could happen. No. But that's one of the things that don't make sense. All this, I got picked up, I rode with this person. It's all a bunch of fuckery. You want to know how I know? Because look who the Megs girl was always with. The Sammy chick now, right? Okay. Well, Megs is telling not her story now. Now she's telling somebody else's story. I wonder whose fucking story she's telling.
A lot of older people started showing up that people didn't know. A lot of drugs were involved, drugs that we don't typically have just in parties. And our parties also just aren't normally that big.
How do you know? You was only there for 10 minutes.
Within the only 10 minutes that I was there.
Here's my question. What in the fuck is up with everybody trying to push this man? So many bad drugs that could kill you possibly? Now let's move on to Sammy. This is where shit just gets real weird.
Is this what can you confirm whether or not she was wearing this at the night of the party? Is that what she was wearing?
Yeah, so that top is exactly what I saw her in. If you can see on her left side, on her hip, you can see some skin. She was wearing a black bodysuit. I remember because we went to the bathroom together, peed in the woods together a couple of times, and so that's her shirt right there. The pants were different that she wore to the party. She was wearing green Dickies pants, but that belt is definitely what she's wearing too.
All right, Sammy. Well, there's just one problem I have with that, and it's the information that the cops released last night. You know, you're pretty good at describing, exactly what she was wearing. Even that belt, the same kind of pants, just a different shade, I know that in the dark. Different shade. It's not that navy blue. It's more like navy green.
Well, just a couple hours ago, the Placer County Sheriff released a new photo showing a sweatshirt Kiely was spotted wearing in a video recorded the night she disappeared.
That's kind of weird. Sammy, that was with her all night since she got there, last person to see her. I don't know how she knows that she's the last person to see her since you know, she left her at the party. But whatever. Damn. How did Sammy notice, you know, her belt in the dark and her slightly different colored pants, but not the big fucking colorful pink and white hoodie?
On your last call, did she let you know who the quote unquote friend was that was driving her home?
Yeah, so this is a common misconception.
This is also the part of the story that makes the most not sense.
She was not being driven home and she was not driving.
How do you know? You weren't there. You left already.
So, okay. At the end of the party when I saw her, she was supposed to give me a ride home because I had asked her to give me a ride home because I wanted to stay later.
You wanted to stay later, even though guys were forcing your friend Megs to do bong rips and it was scary, you said.
There was a lot of guys that did approach us. Definitely, I was getting a gut feeling during that party that something just didn't feel right with the amount of people that were there and how old some of these people were from the amount of people who did show up. It was scary. She was supposed to give me a ride home because I had asked her to give me a ride home because I wanted to stay later.
I've never heard of a female being like, man, this sketches me out. My gut feeling tells me to get the fuck out of here. What is up with all these weird people? I want to stay here longer.
I then realized later in the party that I believe she was drunk, and I knew she was drunk, and so I did not want her to be driving me home because I know about drunk drivers and all that.
Once again, painting the picture of, oh man, she was like totally fucked up and drunk, like for real fucked up and drunk.
Yeah, and I figured she would be staying there or she would find a ride home because she's a smart girl.
Is that what you figured? Well, you said when y'all both went back to charge y'all's phones in Kylie's car, you talked about texting her mom. She texted her mom that she was coming home. That doesn't sound like, hey, I'm spending the night here in my car. It sounds like she's going home.
I found her as I was leaving the party. I was making sure to find her to tell her that I had another ride home and that I loved her and I would say bye and for her to have fun at the party.
You want to know how I know something's up with two in particular people in this situation? Because something Mama Bear said. Yeah, Kylie's mom. You know, after I seen the police put out that picture of that hoodie, I was like, well, that's weird. The Sammy chick never fucking mentioned that hoodie. That's weird. But there was the other mystery hoodie, remember?
Deputies also shared two more pictures. The first picture shows a sweatshirt she was loaned.
What if that was a bullshit hoodie put out as bullshit evidence? Or maybe somebody's hoodie used to frame somebody else for doing something. I know what you're thinking. Oh, I don't think a hoodie's that important. Okay, well then watch what is said in this interview by Kylie's mom.
One of the most recent revelations was this shirt, this hoodie she was seen wearing. Did you know that she owned that shirt? Had you seen it before?
That sweater belongs to one of her good friends. Lana Del Rey is a musician who sings so eloquently and has so many beautiful lyrics that can be quoted and put on a shirt. I think that it's not helpful to go down any rabbit holes or follow any red herrings about, a sweater from a concert that had a pretty picture on it.
My interpretation of what she just said is Mama Bear ain't buying nobody's bullshit about no hoodie. Last but not least, this new mystery person. They're fucking creepy. They make everything creepier. So apparently, this mystery guy who sounds like he's hella older, he sounds like he's my age. His ass definitely don't sound 16. Had two mystery cousins at the party. He doesn't say their name. Even though he's talking about these two mystery cousins at this party, he's talking like he was there.
Well, she stayed later than them. But they didn't say like they didn't.
Oh, okay. Your mystery cousins who left before her said, yeah, she stayed later. How do they know that she didn't leave 1 minute after? The fuck?
They did tell me that they didn't see her wearing a sweatshirt at that time.
There we go again with a sweatshirt comment from a guy that wasn't there.
They didn't
Did
see
it
her wearing
see
a
which?
sweatshirt.
Did it see her in a tank top, like the black?
Yeah,
spaghetti?
she was wearing the bodysuit. Yeah, she was wearing the same outfit, but they didn't see her wearing no sweatshirt.
Yeah, my mystery cousin seen her in the bodysuit, the same outfit, not a sweatshirt.
Did they see anybody like creepy out there? Do people hook up out there, like right there in the woods too? Like do they?
Oh, look, I can't say that people. It's hard to explain.
Whose name can't you say, motherfucker?
Like okay. So when kids go out there, because I've been out there, I've partied in Tahoe. I don't party as much as I got 3 kids now. But I know when they go out there, a lot of kids go out there, they don't go out there with the drugs. They don't go out there with the shrooms. Like they usually bring the alcohol, they get alcohol. The dudes who come out there, the older guys, they have the shrooms and the cocaine. And then the kids go hang out with that group, the older dudes, because they're giving them the blow and hooking them up with stuff that they can't afford because they don't really got the money for it. Most of the guys, they always want to give it to the girls.
And it's being offered for free because they want the company and stuff.
Yeah, for free. They give you free lines, but then they want you to kick it with them. You know, oh, hey, come do a line with me. Come do a line with me. You know, that's how it goes. Those are how those parties are.
Right.
So there's no telling what could happen, but I do know for a fact she was messed up. That is a fact. So if they try to word it nicely, like, oh yeah, she was no, she was shit faced.
How the fuck do you know? How the fuck do you know? Another thing, why are you laughing? This isn't funny. You just said you had 3 kids. I don't think you have 3 kids. If you had 3 kids, you wouldn't be laughing about a kid getting fucked up and being missing. Another thing, I really want to know who these 2 fucking cousins are because there's only 2 other people I know of that was at this party that have laughed while talking about Kiely Rodni.
She gets back, she's gonna know. You all damn love her so much. Like, yeah. Woo!
It was very uncomfortable.
The first day that she was missing, I mean, I was literally in a car for 12 hours looking for her.
No offense, but do you want like a round of applause for doing something you're supposed to do? No one gives a fuck. Your friend's still missing.
And you're probably having different groups of people bringing their type of cocaine. So then they're all sharing amongst each other.
You know who else talked about sharing amongst each other? Sammy. You know who she talked about sharing stuff with? Kiely.
Your cousins, they left around 10:30 or something like that.
Yeah, they left. She was still there, but they didn't. I asked them if they saw her before they left, and they did.
Oh, okay.
To me, if I went out there now, like let's say if I went out there and I saw some older dudes and I knew a girl was 16, 17, and he's like, come do a line with me, I would think that's fucking creepy alone itself. Like, dude, why do you want to do a line with her? She's like 10 years younger than you. She's a minor.
If you were there, you said you've been there a bunch. You're talking like you were there. Question, why the fuck would you go there? You have 3 kids, right? Why the fuck you finna go party with a bunch of kids? The fuck is wrong with you?
But when you basically decide to go out to that party, it's like all bets are off. Like everyone's okay with it.
This does not sound like somebody who has like, you know, children and morals. No. When you're fucking 31 and you show up to a party and if a kid's like, yo, cocaine, you go, no. And then you look at yourself and you go, what am I doing here? I'm a fuck up. That's what you do.
You know what I mean? So nobody would look at it as creepy.
First off, me and my friends would never be caught partying with children. Second off, if a child was at a party and we seen an older dude try to give the child coke, we're going to kick your fucking ass. All of us.
On the outside looking in, you would think it's creepy.
No, there's no thinking it's creepy. It's fucking creepy. It doesn't matter how you look at it. This dude is trying to solidify it for his motherfucking self.
Right. And someone said, what does blow mean? Blow is cocaine.
Is this dude being serious?
But somebody said, how could she have been wasted already? I mean, I don't know. A lot of people pregame sometimes too. We don't know what she did before she got there either.
Yeah, she was drinking pretty much the whole time.
Will somebody tell me why this bitch ass motherfucker is laughing? And how did you know, bitch? You said you wasn't fucking there.
Like that's when I know when they saw her early in the day.
Oh, really? Who saw her early in the day? Your 2 imaginary cousins or Sammy and Megs?
They saw her earlier in the day?
Yeah, and she was drunk.
What do you mean earlier in the day?
Exactly.
Like before they left. Like they left around like 10:30 or 11. So before that, like I'll guess like around 8 or 9, she was already drunk.
Who's your fucking cousins?
And how the cousins
so when they
spoke
saw
to
her, she was drunk.
Oh, okay.
That's what Sammy said. Is Sammy your fucking cousin?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, but I asked them, like, did you guys know her? Like, were you guys friends with her? But they had no type of connection with her whatsoever.
So your mystery cousins who don't know her whatsoever, don't have any association with her, just watched her the whole time, knew exactly what she was wearing, when she was leaving, knew that she was drunk and wasted and probably doing coke and being a fucking raging crazy person. No. There's two people for show this full of shit. And I'm gonna tell y'all right now, if y'all are watching this, which you probably are on your little social media fucking app, being like, I wonder what everyone's saying. The cops already know. You're fucked. You're fucked. You're gonna be busted. Y'all sloppy as fuck. And I'm glad.
All right. I know a lot of people get offended, because he drops the F-bomb. I do too occasionally. But he's calling out the obvious. We've been talking about this since Monday, Tuesday, and we're like, nothing makes sense. One of the very first comments I got from Lisa Durr was, keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. These people are not Kiely's friends. Hang on, we're going to bring Crime Catcher up real quick. I got quite a few people backstage. I'm just trying to get you guys in order. Welcome to the channel, Crime Catcher 101. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
Good. I got your message, and you said he's spot on about Sammy, and you're going to tell us why, and I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm getting like double sound. I'm hearing you talk over and over.
Is your YouTube app open?
Yeah, I'm getting like double sound. I'm hearing you talk over and over. Is your YouTube app open? Yeah, YouTube's open. I'm watching you on it.
Yeah,
okay, so you'll have to close it and just use StreamYard.
Okay, hold on a second. Okay, how's that?
Better.
All right, okay. I'm going to tell you what I think. I've been studying this case for quite a while. I put the timeline together. I've watched every single video. I've watched every single statement of everybody of what they've made, and there is so much stuff that's not making any sense whatsoever. Okay, let's start right at 10 o'clock. That's when Kiely was supposed to arrive at the party with Mags, right? Well, who exactly came with, like, did they drive with Kiely, or did they drive with Mag's boyfriend? Because right after that, she seemed to leave with her boyfriend. So was her boyfriend there, or did Mags come with her boyfriend and Kiely? Nobody seems to know that, right?
Nobody seems to know that. Nope. Or
nobody knows if he drove off or whatever happened, right?
Or was he already at the party and Mags went with Kiely and met him there?
Well, that's just it. Nobody has a clue, right? And so far, nobody has come, up to say anything. But let's go on from there. So 10 o'clock, that's 10 o'clock. She said that there's a lot of drugs there, a lot of drugs she hasn't seen. That could have been anything from ecstasy to GHB to meth to coke to anything, right? These kids are into everything. And I come from a town that's a big party town. And trust me, when there's GHB and drugs like that, these kids are doing it, okay? And it's not a date rape drug. Yes, there is it's used for that in some cases, but it's mostly like ecstasy to get you high. And what it does is bring down all your inhibitions. So you're just ready to go. Doesn't matter if you're a girl or a guy when you're taking the right dose. But anyway, let's just forget about the GHB, but that's just a possibility of the drugs that could have been there, okay? So now 10:30, the party's just rocking, right? They said Mags had just left. Sammy is partying hard with Kiely, right? But then all of a sudden, Kiely just decides to call Jagger at 10:30, just out of the blue. I'm just going to call you in the middle of the party while the party's rocking. Things are slamming here. Music's going off. People are screaming. I doubt that happened. Okay, and the FBI is going to find out that's where the FBI is big time on everything right now. They're going to find every clue, every text message, they're going to be on to everything to make sure, they go through every single detail to find out who's lying. Okay, so 10:30 then, they're all partying hard, blah, blah, blah. It goes on to 11 o'clock now, where they say they go to the car to charge their phones. Now, first of all, do you think two girls out in a party like that really would run out of their phones at the same time? I mean, these girls live and die by their phones, so they're charged all the time. They're ready to go. They want every pic, every video, everything, right? So it seems odd that two girls would have to charge their phones, but fair enough. So, but then Sammy says when they were in the car that Kiely called her mom to extend her curfew. Okay. But that's not what happened. Okay. Her mom didn't mention a word about her extending her curfew. All she said that she was going to be home at 12:15. And that was the last of that. Okay. So there was no mention about curfew or anything like that from Sammy's mom, or from Kiely's mom. Sorry. Then we get down to 12:25. Kiely and Sammy say goodbye. Okay, she's not going to get a ride with her because she's too drunk. Well, do you really think a friend's going to let another friend drive pissed drunk? Like, I've been out with my friends a million times, high, drunk, or whatever, and we never let a friend drive. Like, I'm not going to skip and go and get another ride with somebody else because my other friend is pissed drunk. I'm going to take him, whether I have to put him in a headlock, grab his keys, and we're all going together. That's the way it's been our whole entire life. Nobody ever drives drunk or high.
Picking apart with Sammy, they're like, but she left her. Her excuse is, after being called out, not called out rudely, she said, well, she's a smart girl. I figured she would.
Well, that's a bunch of bullshit. Okay, let's call it what it is right there. Okay, that's a complete lie. Okay, then 8 minutes later, after they charged their phones, okay, they say that the phone was turned off. Now, I have an iPhone 11 that I've never turned off in my life because I don't know how. And I tried to turn it off yesterday. I pushed the button because of my old iPhones and I thought it would turn off. It didn't. You have to turn two buttons. You have to push the side and the other side, hold it together for 3-4 seconds, and then swipe it off. Okay, so her phone didn't get turned off. It was either smashed. It was either somebody turned it off on purpose. It doesn't matter. But then 3 minutes later, Sammy says that she got a call from Kiely from another person's phone asking her if she wanted a ride again. Well, you know, that's a BS right there. That's just trying, all that's doing there to Sammy is she's trying to distance herself from whatever just happened by saying, you know, by making the fake call. And we don't even know if Sammy got a call from anybody. But like I said, the FBI will find out. They'll find out who called Sammy at 12:36, whose phone it was. This will all be found out. I mean, forensics in phones is one of the easiest things there is to do. Okay,
well,
so that's
unless you want to get that information from people's phones, you have to have a warrant.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you don't understand the FBI, okay? They're yes, warrants. They're going to be looking into every single detail. Okay, they might not be able to get the pictures and the videos, but they'll have the GPS, the time, the text of every single phone call and every text that was made out there. I guarantee that 100%. Okay, so that's eventually how this is all going to go down. But I've noticed some strange things about Sammy. In one video I was watching, she said that she was the very last to talk to Kiely after the party during that interview with that one guy that did the long interview. And I was thinking, like, people don't slip up. What do you mean after the party? During the party, you were the last one to talk to her.
Yeah.
After the party, that might have went till 4:30 in the morning or something.
Exactly.
So what are you talking about after the party? You were the last one to see her. Okay. Now, like I said, everything, we could all be wrong on this. She may have just got drunk, drove into a body of water. Well, then fair enough. It was an accident. It sucks. We'll find her and life will go on. But if an abductor took her, well, she's probably gone forever. Okay, because that was probably a professional take then, but I can't see that because it's out in the woods, it's far away. You got to go through check stops, you got to go through stuff. It's too much of a chance for a perp to try and do that. Way too much of a chance, especially in her car and everything. People could see you, people could follow you, people could stop at you, people could wave at you. I can't see it happening. Okay, this is all pointing to Sammy. Everything is pointing to Sammy. Every time I watch her talk, and another thing, when I've watched Sammy and Magdalene's interview, I've seen a lot of fear in people's eyes in my life, okay? People that are really scared of something. Well, Magdalene is really scared of something. She's not just sad. She's in fear of something. And I think it's the person right beside her. And that's why she's so much in fear. If you look at that girl, she's not just sad. She's got fear in her face, okay? And then there's some other things that are kind of strange. And this is probably nothing. But one thing I've noticed about the mom, her stories aren't straight either. So what she says a lot of time. And I noticed that one interview, she laughed like with Ezekiel or whatever his name is. She laughed like 6-8 times during this interview. Who the hell laughs when your kid is missing? Okay, I just lost a cat 3 years ago that went missing out of the backyard. Never ever found them. Okay, I've never smiled about it since. There's not been a laugh about it since. So what the hell is going on? You tell me. Tell me what you think's going on.
Parents have with the kids really confuses me.
Yeah. And you have creme brulee.
Yeah, I don't get that whole thing. And also, who bought him the booze? I mean, this girl was 16, so somebody had to bootleg for him. So there's got to be some record of somebody that got in contact with them or some, because they said they went back to her car to drink booze.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, I know kids are stupid or not, but this girl's 16 and she's an honor student. She's very smart, way ahead of everybody else. You think she's driving around with open booze in her car? Do you think she's driving home pissed drunk? Not a chance.
And it's
not a chance.
And it's her first party. Remember that.
Yep.
Not a chance, people. Not a chance. Like, this is so, people are talking all this BS stuff when everything's right in front of you. All you got to do is look at the timeline. All you got to do look at is how Sammy's trying to distance herself just a few minutes after everything happens each time. She's always got an excuse. She's always got something, right? I think she's a narcissist. I think she's a sociopath. But this is all stuff we're going to find out. We'll find it out, guys. You know what I mean? That's how everything gets found out. But there's some real strange shit going on in this case. I'll tell you that right now. And I don't think it's as easy as she's driven off the road. And if somebody,
not anymore.
Listen, I'll tell you, if somebody did abduct her up that night, right? Like, remember they said, oh, somebody went to sleep and saw her car right in front of them, and then in the morning when they woke up, she was gone. Well, okay, if somebody did abduct her there, then you're going to find her about 20 to 30 miles away in a lake or something. That's where they would have ditched the car. You're not going to find it 2 or 3 miles away. They would have taken her, done whatever they did with her. Maybe she was deceased, and then they get rid of the body and the car inside a lake that's not even close to there, 20, 30 miles. So I'd be flying the drones around, 20, 30 mile radius of just back and forth till you clear everything, right?
Okay, and real quick, I want to clear something up because there's been a lot of, the FBI would have to get warrants. Now, they're not going to make an announcement and say, we're getting warrants for this.
Oh, they're not going to tell you a thing.
But the truth is, the FBI made nearly 3.4 million queries last year to a database of information collected without a warrant. They don't have to go through the same channels and procedures that, say, Truckee, California law enforcement does.
Well, no, 100%. Like, if you think the FBI, the NSA, and everything like that plays by the rules, give me a break. And I'm glad they don't, because this is how these people are going to get caught this time. Okay.
And these kids do not understand, even though they should, because they were born into the social media age, that the internet does not disappear and somebody's got it somewhere. You can torch that phone. They're going to find it. Maybe
100%.
not.
These kids have no clue about forensics. Okay. They're young kids. I don't think they've watched 150 Datelines and First 48 and all that type of stuff. They don't have any idea about the forensics of phones. I mean, if the NSA wants, they can turn on your phone and listen to you right now. So, I mean, they have no clue.
Now, let me ask you this. What is your theory? Do you think that there was some sort of drug-related accident, the fight, planned? Some people are like, no, those girls had it out for her. We're not accusing anybody.
Anything is up for grabs, but there could possibly be a love triangle. Something that went wrong between Jagger, her, and they just wanted to get rid of Kiely. It's happened before, lots of times. So I don't know. Like I said, Jagger putting himself into the investigation and saying things. Well, I really need Kiely back. What do you mean you really need Kiely back? She's not even your girlfriend. When I was 16, if I hopped from girl to girl to girl, every week we went out with somebody different. And if she went out with somebody there, or she broke her leg next week, or I couldn't care less, and neither could anybody else. So he's putting himself way too much concern in this too. Oh, I need her back so bad. I really need like, give me a break, man. Come on.
He's going to the parents and consoling with them. But what he's doing, I think, is finding information.
Oh, 100%. And Sammy is way overplaying her hand. Way overplaying. Somebody doesn't get this involved in a thing like that when you're not even a best friend. I mean, it doesn't sound like she was her best friend. It sounds like Mags was her best friend. And there's some conflict going on in there. Like this is it's crazy. And I can't believe so many people are falling for the this and that theory. Oh, she just drove off. Come on, man. Like,
now, a week ago we did. A week ago when I heard about the story, I was like, oh, she could have gone off a cliff. This could have happened. And they introduced the, this drug infused, alcohol infused, Woodstock 2022. And I'm like, oh, she drove off and had an accident. But
the thing is, though, with that, if she did and she was in the water, there wasn't any rain that night, so they'd find the tracks. I mean, all you have to do, you can walk it. You could take your BMX bike and just ride down the road and check every little spot where you see a couple tire tracks.
Yeah, they've had a drought. So like a week ago, I mean, today's Monday. So when this started coming out Sunday afternoon, whenever you guys first heard about it, it was like, this can happen. As time ticked on, and I mean by minutes, my friend, by minutes, especially when Sammy started talking, everybody went, no, I don't think that it's
100%.
Some little accident. Now, do you think it's odd that, Jagger comes out and he says he's going to go to Reno? I know that Ryan Upchurch doesn't think it's a big deal. He thinks Jagger's trying to play hero or whatever. Everybody has their own opinion in these cases. Do you think it's odd that he said that the sheriff, not that, hey, send me some tips, I'm going to filter through them, that he was asked by law enforcement to filter tips and then give it to them?
Yeah, right. Are you guys kidding? Like the law enforcement would never let anybody find out all that stuff and everything. No. That's such a bunch of hokey. Come on, man.
No, I'm not.
I've been around the law and around criminals for a long time. That ain't happening.
No, I'm not implying that law enforcement. We cleared that up days ago. No way would you do that. Do you find it odd that he would make up a absurd story? Because that story is 150% made up. Do you?
Like I said. That's how these guys are going to get caught, because like my mother used to say, the truth never lies. You can tell when you know the truth, you don't make mistakes. You don't make blunders. You don't tell that your red car is green. You don't tell if you were wearing a jacket, if you were wearing a sweatshirt. You don't make mistakes. But when you lie and you try to lie really, really good, no matter how hard you try to do it, you slip up. You just words that'll slip up, just like her after the party. What do you mean after the party? You know what I mean? There's just so many things that don't make sense, right? Even her mother, who said she first found out by calling Kiely, and she couldn't get a hold of her and she couldn't text her. Well, apparently her phone was off. So I know when you call somebody and their phone's off, it basically just clicks and goes to the email. But then she said, oh, I noticed when she wasn't home in the morning that she was missing. So, I mean, there's some odd things that people are just, you know what I mean? They're not getting their stories straight. Don't really know. I don't think it has anything to do with the mom, but I've been hit with some really crazy stunners in the past, man, that you just never know, right? You know, maybe Kiely came home pissed drunk, her mom got mad at her, something accidentally smacked her, fell down the stairs. Like, you don't know shit like that, right? That's far-fetched, but I'm just saying, you know, you never know what could happen, right? But we're far from that, because Sammy's as guilty as it comes. That's for sure. We just have to wait on that.
Nothing.
Sammy, if you're watching, you're going to be done. I'm telling you that right now. You've messed up way too many times. Try to distance yourself from things that have happened. It's actually kind of comical how she couldn't even wait 3 minutes to make up an excuse that Kiely had called her from a friend's phone. Like, I mean, that's laughable.
And those minutes are very important.
Very important. Yep. That's where it's all going to come down to. They're going to, like I said, they're going to have everybody's text, every minute, everything. They're not telling you that right now. Pretty soon you're going to see people are going to be called in for interviews, or there's going to be some arrest warrants, or something's going to happen.
Eileen said Sammy and Kiely most likely had a fight. See, but then I can't see Sammy, and nobody is accusing Sammy. Nobody is. We are not doing that. We are talking about the oddities of how she jumped deep. She jumped straight in the deep water, put herself in the forefront, went as far to say she's organizing searches.
Yeah, I know. Like, this is crazy. Who would do that? Come on. Like, figure out, like, you would be involved and you would help. You go out with your friends. I'd grab all my friends, but I wouldn't be organizing stuff. You left that for the police and stuff. You don't know what the hell you're doing. What do you mean organize? Like, I mean, you leave that to the professionals.
Yeah, you do, to the professionals. And I don't care the age of the person doing it. We have it in another case, somebody that's really inserted themselves. And I think it just comes straight down to this person wants attention, totally separate case. Not going to get off on that. I want to know why Sammy, and also why she was allowed by her parents, inserted herself so deep. She knows social media. She had to have known. She doesn't strike me as dumb.
Well, the thing is, remember, she's still young. And she thinks by inserting herself and stuff like a lot of people do, like, oh, hey, what are you looking at me for? I was the one that found the body. You know what I mean? They use that excuse. That's what she's trying to do. She's trying to put herself so in there that everybody looks against, like away from her, right? But she's not that smart. Like I said, sociopaths, narcissists and stuff, they think they're that smart, but they're not. And that's how they get caught.
How did she not foresee? Because she is a teenage girl. She knows how girls talk. They know everything about each other. And if they don't, they're going to find it out. That her being so public that someone was not going to say, but you're not even that good of friends with her.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, that's what I've heard over and over and stuff. And don't even follow each other on social media and like different crazy stuff like that. That's very odd. Okay. And every girl follows each other. Everybody follows each other.
And all the kids that were at that party should have jumped in, not on social media, not on the news, but told the police what was going on that night, because there's no way you can say that law enforcement is not taking this seriously. There's no way. JPL, talk about all the different agencies you saw with your own eyes.
Oh my God. Literally, there were people from Alameda County, Butte County, Southern California. They had so many agencies, and FBI is on every YouTube, checking every comment.
Of course, they're here right now, and they should be.
Yes.
They should be. Because a lot of us will pick up stuff that they don't, even though they are the smartest and they have the most electronics, everything. Some things you got to think like a criminal. That's the bottom line when you get down to these cases. You can't think in your own mind what I would do or what you would do or what you think happened. You got to think like the criminal. You go right from to the point of where it started, where she disappeared, and you slowly work your way outward in the timeline, getting, okay, so who, if it happened at 12:30, who did she see at 12? Who did she see at 11:30? Who, you go through the timeline. And then even after that, did anybody see her after 1? Well, if nobody saw her, then 12:30 is basically your timeline when something happened so far, right?
Now, as far as the timeline goes, the timeline given by law enforcement is obviously very vague, because it's a little tough to verify all these kids' stories. Because Sammy said it doesn't make it true. Because Mike said it doesn't make it true. They're saying the only timeline they have is from a store at 6:08 p.m. on the 5th, and her phone going off grid at 12:33 a.m. So I don't know why these kids decided to stir up all these rumors and these other stories to confuse the situation.
Well, they either know more than they're saying, or they're scared of being arrested, or all sorts of stuff. Like, we don't know what could have happened. A sexual assault, a violent, we don't know, right? We have no clue until we can find this. But I'm going to tell you right now about what you're talking about, the timeline and the phone. Every one of those kids, their phones are attached to their hand. Okay. There's going to be thousands of images, thousands of videos, because that's the way they live. Okay. I pulled up on 4 girls in a car. This was weeks ago, just up at the light. Every girl had their face buried in their iPhone. The lady honked behind when it was finally green. The 3 girls in the back didn't even budge them. And the girl in the front, who was working on her iPhone, just looked and basically gave the lady the finger and drove off. My point is these kids live and die on these phones. So there's going to be thousands of images, thousands of videos. Everything will fall into the timeline, because all of that is recorded on GPS and time. So it's all going to be there.
Those things, we all understand all of that. I think the question is, obviously the timeline we don't know, because law enforcement has not verified anything except for a picture at 6:08 p.m.
Right.
And when she went off grid at 12:33 a.m.
That's
All
right.
of the extra in the middle comes from these kids.
That's
If
right.
all of that could be verified and they were being as forthcoming as they claim to be, we would not be sitting here having this conversation.
No, that's true. And see if, no, I agree 100%. Yeah. Yeah. It's
And it's going to get more and more and more frustrating because you can't unring a bell. So 2 weeks from now, people are still going to be talking about Sammy going, I drank out of everything she drank out of, when we know she's full of shit.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. 100%. Yeah.
Yep. And DNA. They're looking for DNA as well.
Oh, and also, guys, like, do we have 100% proof that she was ever there?
Yes, she was.
Okay, so you have seen videos or pictures of her there.
Angela, the public information officer, said they're not releasing anything like that because they're not going to interfere with the integrity of the case. It has been confirmed. They have been tweeted several times. They've been tweeted several times. Are you able to confirm that Kiely Rodni attended the party before she went missing? Yes.
Oh, okay, 100% then she was there. So now we can work on other things. Now we work on the timeline again. If she was there, then, I mean, it's not hard to figure out when she went missing then. Because everybody, up to 12:30, I mean, it's right around the 12:30 to 1 o'clock mark is when everything disappeared.
And I hopefully they're getting that honed down, but with her phone being off the grid at 12:33,
but just ask yourself that, ladies. Who turns their phone off? I mean, you're drunk and you're going to drive home, apparently. You know what I mean? You're going to want your phone on in case you get in an accident.
That didn't happen. And no,
that's what I'm saying. I don't think it happened. But my point is, who would turn their phone off? She's not going to turn her phone off ever.
Her phone wasn't off, I'm sure, because I lost Brooks so many times in that area. The cell service sucks.
Okay, the cell service might suck, but your phone's still on. Your phone's still working. It doesn't matter if the cell service doesn't click, your phone's still on. So this phone was turned off.
Oh, this phone was totally dead. I don't mean totally dead, anything like that. There's been and here's the thing. Let's say she in the dark got lost. She has a charger in her car. She could have put it back on the charger and said, I need more juice while I'm driving. Everything stops 12:33 a.m.
Yeah, and guys, with these phones nowadays, I mean, mine can be at 3% when I go to bed at night, and I wake up in the morning 8 hours later and still at 3%. So she didn't just charge her phone and all of a sudden it just ran out of power.
They already verified, and they had to tell us, which is odd. Another thing, the extra icing always gets people in these cases, as you know. So when they had to make sure to tell us that they went to the car to charge their phones.
Yeah.
So she's got juice in the battery. So the 12:33, I don't think there's any question mark as to she's not going to just turn the thing off.
No, and why did Sammy say in the interview that Kiely came to phone her mom to extend her curfew? Okay, she got there at 10. Do you think she's phoning her mom at 11 to extend her curfew? Like, what are you kidding me? And her mom never mentioned a word about that. She said that Kiely phoned and said she was going to arrive home around 12:15. She didn't, and mom would have said, no, she phoned me to extend her curfew. We checked, texted, but she didn't say that. So why is Sammy making that up?
I don't know, because what came out in the news, verified by law enforcement, around 12:15 a.m., Kiely, texted her parents that she was heading home. However, that's the conversation. That's the official conversation. However, according to her mother, no one has come forward to say they saw her leave. That's a problem. Just simple things like when you leave any sort of gathering, you say bye to someone, correct?
Well, of course we do. All our friends, anybody, in fact, any one of our friends that were at any party, when they say goodbye, the first thing we look at, you okay to drive? You've been, oh no, I've had one beer, so that's fine. But if we've seen a guy taking down 20 shots of tequila in the night, you're not going anywhere, buddy. We'll give you a ride home. If it costs you $20, it costs you $20. Too bad. Come get your keys tomorrow. Here's your house key. And that's the way we do it.
Well,
so you're right. She should have probably said goodbye to 50 people.
If that's the part of the story we're supposed to believe, no one did that. Not one.
Exactly.
Even about a total stranger, someone that just came to the party they've never seen before in their life. It was her first time at a party. Not one person. We're supposed to believe that. I don't believe that. If Sammy didn't give a shit, and Sammy was like, well, she's a smart girl, I knew she'd figure it out. But hey, I was ready to go home from this overwhelming party at 11:30. I was ready to go.
Yeah.
But I wasn't about to ride with her because she was too drunk. Now, she also said that it didn't seem like there was anything wrong with her. Again, we have a problem.
Like I said, there's so many slip ups. Like I said, the truth doesn't lie, man. The truth doesn't lie. And that's how my mom always caught me with everything, because I'd always slip up. I'd always make a mistake, right? Every time. And that's how eventually how everybody's going to do it. And that's how we're going to solve this case.
Hey,
I don't know if we're going to get any reward, but we might solve this case.
I think we're pretty close. I think everybody's looking the right direction, don't you think?
Oh, I think 100%. Like I said, if we're 100% off, then this is just nothing but a tragic event, right? She drove off. She got killed her by accident. But that's not what's happening here, guys. That's so far-fetched. People want to, they want to think that, and there is a 1% chance, but that's not what's happening here, guys. Because in any crime, once you start to get people fumbling up, changing stories, then there's been a crime. Okay, this is so obvious, right? Mm-hmm. So I mean, they're trying, whatever. They're going to figure it out. They'll figure it out
if they haven't already.
Yeah, I think I had it figured out about 6 days ago, and I've been going through people telling the same story, and they're just like, oh, maybe this and that. But now over the last 4 days, everybody's been pretty well convinced that, yeah, I think that's exactly what happened. And we're just waiting on the time now to see what happens. Because the FBI, it's going to take a while to go through all those calls, get all the information, you know what I mean? It's going to take a little while, even though they probably got a couple hundred officers working on that part of it, right? I mean, they don't screw around, right? There's not 3 people sitting behind a desk right now pushing pencils, right? So
I believe that they are actively investigating this. When JPL was there, she spoke to a sheriff's deputy. They said, this never happens here.
It was the captain.
The captain. What they say, we go out and have to look for hikers that get lost. But this is not, this does not happen.
No, exactly, guys. Yeah, it's exactly right. So. And like I said, I think there's more to it. I think Magdalene, like I said, I see fear in that girl's face. So I don't know what's going on with her, but I see a lot of fear, not just sadness. So we'll wait on that too.
Now that you say it, she does have besides the fact that she's in front of a camera and all that stuff, she does have definitely a nervous, intimidated energy about her.
She looks like she's just waiting for Sammy to give her a backhand. That's what she looks like to me. She's just standing there, just cringing, just waiting to take a shot to the head by Sammy. That's exactly.
I wonder how close they are.
I wonder
if she all of a sudden took over her best friend.
Because I'm wondering.
Best friends, and now this girl comes along. All of a sudden, she's best friends, but they don't. Oh, come on, they don't.
Well, she was Mag was between Sammy and Sammy's mother at the conference at the community meeting, and so Mags, you could see her in the middle, just kind of with her hands and her head in her face, in her hands, kind of just like I don't know. I think she's in the middle somehow.
Well, and I think also, JPL, when you asked at that meeting about the parking, that's the only time I've ever heard of Sammy getting upset.
Oh, she was upset. And when she looked at me, it was like, oh, my God, you're asking about the parking. Oh, shit. Because this was early on, and this was at the community meeting, and they had people asking questions. And this was on Tuesday, and literally her face just like looked at me like, and then her mom taps her on the shoulder and has her arm over her and, trying to console her. And Sammy's got her fingers in her mouth, biting her nails. But she's right in front of a panel of all of these these agencies, and they're watching her. They're watching everybody in that audience.
Of course they are. Hang on. Sorry, I muted you for a second because I wanted everyone to hear again the reaction Sammy had when JPL asked about the parking, and we're kind of talking over each other.
Yep, go ahead.
Oh, that she sat there and was extremely nervous, and that her mother had her arm around her, and Megs was in the middle of Sammy's mom and Sammy, and you could tell that Megs was very uncomfortable. And they're all sitting in front of this panel of all these agencies, so I'm sure they've taken that into account. Yeah, I just think that if this Jagger is 18, Sammy's 18, and this girl's 16, and Sammy met her through Jagger, I don't know.
No,
well, that's what I'm saying. There could easily be a love triangle. Easily.
Yeah.
And 2 years doesn't seem like a big thing to us as adults. 2 years in maturity for kids is a big difference.
16 to 18, there's a mile between that and what you experience and what a mile. So that, yeah, it's not even close, 16 to 18. Okay. Going through that when you were young and stuff, when you're 16
it's
and
a big change.
begging for you, everybody's doing all the stuff for you. And then you're 18 and you're a full-fledged person. So yeah, it's way different league.
Well, I appreciate you coming up. Anytime, I'll put the link up anytime. Make sure you hit the remind all, and you'll see when we're live. I got a couple of people backstage, and I'm going to bring them up too. Okay.
Hey guys, I hope we get them. Thanks for getting me on. Take care.
Hey, no problem. Anytime. Very interesting. I think I got to put the link back up real quick. I've been seeing in chat for a while about Adventures with Purpose.
Yeah.
I copy and pasted it in here. It's on their no, it's not on their community tab. They have a stream coming up, and it's in the bio. They're going to be rolling into town on Friday. And thank you very much to Crime Catcher 101. We listen to everybody's theories on here. Anybody that wants to grab the link,
I might have to go back on Friday.
Do what?
I might have to go back on Friday.
I was hoping you were going to bring that up, girlfriend.
I have nothing better to do, right?
And so that's really big that they're going there. So yes, we respect everybody's. Now, some of them, nah. Okay. It goes without saying. Crazy can, go somewhere else. But no, we want to hear everybody's thoughts, everybody's opinion, not just on this case, but every case we cover on this channel. Hang on one second. I lost somebody backstage. I'm going to put the link up again. So because we don't agree with somebody else's theory doesn't mean that they're wrong, because the only right answer is going to be when we get an update from law enforcement that says, hey, this is what we found out. Then it's official. That's the reason I did talk about the timeline with Crime Catcher. I said, and he's got everything written down. Perfect. Because it's a lot to keep up with. Trust me, our brains have been going a million miles a minute. What I went back to was law enforcement saying the timeline is 6:08 p.m. to 12:33 a.m. because everything we have in the middle is the extra. It's the fluff. It's the icing. It's what the kids have been telling us. That can't be verified. If it was, we'd have a different timeline from them. So I just had to make that. I just didn't want anybody to think that I was disagreeing with what law enforcement put out.
Right.
How are you doing, JPL?
I'm feeling the heat, man. It's getting hotter.
But it's a dry heat.
I know. Ugh.
Not here. My air conditioner won't shut off. Nope. Nope, I'm looking. It's exactly 100 degrees right now. I have not looked at the humidity.
Don't do it.
Not going to do it. So I was going to ask you something else. Obviously, about when you went to Truckee over the weekend. Have you looked? Okay, did you say that Homeland Security is there?
Yep. Yep.
Does Homeland Security have an office there, or are they there for this?
You know, there were trailers and a lot of trucks with their agency on the side, with their trailers and their ATVs and motorcycles. There were horses. There were, you name it, they had it. And it's, God, I just can't even believe that. I keep thinking if she was trafficked and taken away, I'm so confused on why that man said ransom to me. That we should be hearing about a ransom coming soon. I'm like, I don't get it. Why would he say that?
I was thinking the same thing. If there's a true stranger abduction, and like we said, they have money, then at some point are we going to hear that there's going to be some kind of exchange for Kiely? You would think. I'm going through your pictures right now, and Homeland Security could be there to prove or disprove any sort of trafficking scenario. Do you know what I mean?
Yep, because Reno is right there across the Nevada, that's the Nevada border. And then you can go up to Canada. You can go up to wherever,
I am going to hang on, give me a second. I'm going to put this on the screen real quick. It's not letting me. I will. Give me just a moment. It says Governor's Office of Emergency Services. Have you ever seen one of these before, JPL? And you're a Cali girl. You've lived there your whole life.
I've seen them for things out at the Capitol. We have a ton of things go on at the Capitol and protests and so forth. And so you usually see those things out there. But not for a search like that. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if they did that with the boys in California City. I don't know if they had. It's crazy, the resources for this. And is it because of the parents putting forth some resources? I don't know. I just don't know. I haven't figured this one out yet. And Homeland Security, yeah, like they said, it has to do with the immigration, things like that. So
I'm putting it up right now. Hang on.
oh my God, somebody did mention that. That's another thing. Somebody at the community, they had a question and they talked about maybe some people aren't coming forth because their parents are illegal. Something like that.
Who said that at the community meeting?
I'm sorry, what?
Somebody said that at the community meeting?
Yeah, they brought it up. They brought up people getting in trouble. And they said, ICE is involved. They will know, they would go, case by case and, whatever. But I remember them talking about that.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I remembered that now.
Did you know this, JPL? Misty Dew said Homeland Security wants people to report any sightings of Kiely to a U.S. embassy.
That, they probably have. They probably have some kind of thing with the embassy in case somebody's in another country and they happen to see this girl online on the dark web or whatever. Yeah. I'm assuming they do have people that are on that.
It's a lot to take in. It's one thing after another. I about fell out of bed last night when I saw the thing about the white hoodie. And mind you, it's just a white hoodie. That's it. And again, I'm like, Sammy strikes again. How could you not know? Okay, so you missed the black hoodie. You missed the white hoodie, but you can describe the belt to a T. Exactly, empath. They're ruling it out. We're not saying here that she's been trafficked or anything. Again, we just discuss everything that's out there.
This girl that sang or Lockdown with April C. I'm interested to see what she emails you, because the family friend that spoke with me, and he's good friends with the father, said that they have money. So obviously, either I don't know. I mean, they all know each other and what they do in that town. And especially if they've grown up with these people and they know their families. So I don't know what she has on it,
Nothing
but
came through yet. Nothing came through yet. I got a bunch of emails, but nothing from April. Crafty one, exactly. The black hoodie has a strange saying on it. I already know it's from a musician. It wasn't like it was printed up that day. But then so does the white hoodie. I'm like, what? I'm not saying that this is purposeful or anything. It's just how much stranger can it get?
right. 2 hoodies. Like I said, the other one could have come because she got sick on the other one, or it was in the car with the other person that was in the car with her. That's the only thing I can think of.
That makes the most sense to me. She's chilly or whatever. Somebody loans her one. And
Right.
her mom said it belongs to a friend. Okay. And then she gets sick or it gets dirty or something like
Right.
that. Then someone else is like, hey, it's not like it, warmed up really quick. Here's mine. But still, we have 3 different
Outfit. Yeah.
options for the evening. What she showed up in. Then we have, I don't know if the black one was on first or the white one.
Right. Which was first?
Did
she have the other one later in the evening, or was it right when she got there?
And how did Sammy, who knew everything that was happening, pretty much, that's what she said, that's what she told us, she knew everything that was happening, missed the wardrobe changes?
Yeah, exactly. Except after she left. She didn't know anything.
And why would Sammy, of all people, when they weren't even that good of friends, get a phone call? Nobody has ever verified, law enforcement, and that's what we lean on. That's where we're getting everything. The rest of it's fluff. The truth is in there somewhere. We just have to dig through it. So they said she went off the grid at 12:33. They never have said, and that was a phone call made to a friend, or that was she reached out to her mom. Off grid at 12:33.
Yeah, that's insane to think that. But why would Sammy be so? I talked to her last. I got a message from her right after I left saying, "Did you get a ride back? Are you okay?" Is that what something like that? I can't remember what she exactly, Kiely, said to Sammy, but it was weird that Sammy said she texted her right like 10 minutes after she left.
And why? Sammy already said she's too drunk to drive, but she's a smart girl. She'll figure it out. Why did they need any more communication? You already ditched her at the party.
Right, exactly.
Why would you need further communication with her? I just don't think, I'm not buying that. I'm sorry. I still don't have an email, April. I don't know what's going on. I keep hitting refresh.
Huh.
I promise I do. CLL 7/2020. I've got something about Don Wells. He's not in this case. Something about a bunch. Got some other stuff, but I don't have that. Well, JPL, as always, it's been another great chat and great discussion on this case, don't you think?
I do. I really do. And like I said, if I get a wild hair up my ass, I will drive there earlier in the week. But for sure, I'm going to go on Friday.
Girl, don't leave us hanging. We need all your details. Well, some of them I know you can't tell. Some you can't. And that's okay.
So, anyway, I hope you have a great evening.
You too. I will text you as soon as this is over. Well, after I get something to drink and start winding my night down. But we can't thank you enough for taking your time, obviously your vehicle, your gas, which I'm sure costs a pretty penny in California, to drive over to Truckee and let us know stuff that we can't see.
Well, I love all of these questions and in chat, and everybody's pretty right on. We all know there is something so wrong, and there are only a few options with this girl, and I pray that she's still alive and just on the dark web right now, and they're trying to find her.
Oh, the absolute hope is that she's found and she's brought back to her family. That is hands down. And I just can't get over the fact that it's one thing for a person to be missing, because they're not that easy to find, if you know what I mean. But the whole car has disappeared.
Well, they have videotape and ring camera from every house on the way to the freeway from the party.
And I thought with that, them getting all the ring surveillance and all that, that would be a huge step forward. Yet the car's gone. Yeah. The car is usually one of the first things that they find. It's really hard, unless you're David Copperfield, to make a whole car disappear.
And that's it. Yeah, I don't know how they may have, that's the thing. They would have to see a truck on that surveillance, unless it came from it couldn't come from a different area. A big enough truck that you could put a SUV in, a little SUV. So I'm sure they've looked at all the surveillance and even gone through the trucks that have been through there. So it's just weird.
And let us not forget, they're not just looking for the CRV driving out. They're looking at all traffic, driving in, driving out, particularly the CRV, but all of it.
You got it.
You got it, my friend. Again, thanks for everything, you're doing. Like I said, going there, letting us know what they said, what the ranger said is huge, what that woman said about how her daughter was at the party. This is just getting more and more bizarre. I mean, it's just insane.
Well, thank God you got Mrs. Kravitz here.
We have our own JPL on the scene. Well, I'm going to start shutting this down, and everybody get on with your evening. And
enjoy, everybody.
Bye, JPL.
See you later. Have a great evening, everybody.
I was reading something. Well, anyway, thanks, guys, for being here. Kept you guys, longer than I normally do. Just with this case, there's so much to sort out. Huge thanks to JPL and all the work that she's been doing to talk to the locals, what's really going on. And as always, you guys are the best chat and best community on YouTube. Gonna see you back here tomorrow. We got 2 shows again tomorrow. Harmony Montgomery, and later in the afternoon, set your notifications. We'll be live again talking about the disappearance of Kiely Rodni. In the meantime, Have a great night, and I will check in with you guys in Discord. You want to come into Discord and chat? Send me an email. Knock on wood, I get it because I'm not getting April's. I'll send you a link and you can come in and we can talk in between shows. I hope everybody has a super, super night, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.